This storm will kill you.
Look! I'm telling you! You know what I mean, folks?
But if rich people aren't looking out for us, who is?
It makes no difference which one of us you vote for. Either way, your planet is doomed.
You're listening to the Our Take Podcast with Brian Sherman.
He had a full head, all the way till the end. It was white, and I was hoping to get that. I was hoping to get, the full head, and it was really hard to cut it off.
And Spencer Rogers.
To be a good pilot, you have to be able to make good decisions. And I know what my credit score is, so I know I don't make good decisions.
This is the Our Take Podcast.
From Scary Parrot Media Studios in Ogden, Utah, it's the Our Take Podcast, episode 126. I'm Brian.
I'm Spencer.
Introduce your friend.
This is Josiah Libert.
Hello, happy to be here.
Hey, man. It's January. Wow.
What? No.
It's not January.
You're wrong.
It's one, though. I think maybe that's what got me. It's May the 1st.
May the 1st.
On this day in history, Osama bin Laden was killed by a U.S. commando. Remember the year?
2011.
Look at you.
I remember where I was.
Do you really?
I do.
I was delivering pizzas.
Really?
Yeah.
What was I? Was I still? No, I was working for Smith's then. I was at my apartment I don't remember the name of it. It was in Provo though.
I remember I called Kurt because I listened to Obama give the address on my phone.
Uh-huh.
Not a smartphone, but it had an FM radio on it. So I called Kurt in the Army. I said, "What's up, man?" He's like, "Just a great day to be an American." Oh, man.
You didn't have a smartphone by then?
No, 2011? No.
I didn't.
You didn't?
No.
The iPhone came out.
I didn't have the first iPhone.
I got the second one. I got the iPhone 3G, which was the second one, right?
Yeah, I didn't have I didn't have a smartphone until
How
iPhone 4
embarrassing
was out.
for you.
Fuck off.
I started with 5S actually.
Wow.
Oh, here's one for you. 5S? All right, there you
5S,
go.
yeah.
This one's for you, Spencer. On this day in history, the jet age begins with the first scheduled flight of the de Havilland Comet 1.
We've talked about this plane multiple times.
What year? Come on, aviation.
Probably the 60s.
You got a degree in this.
This was a useless degree.
1952.
Oh, wow, really?
1 year after the maiden flight from London to Johannesburg, a Comet 1 crashed due to structural problems.
Is
this the square windows?
Yeah, it's the square windows.
I do remember talking about this. We must have recorded on May 1st.
Probably.
Anyway.
Way to revisit history. Or are we just going to keep doing the same stories
We'll just do
over
the same
and over
stories.
again?
I'm sure it's happened before. It's just how trends go. 1989, the Iron Curtain begins to crumble as Hungary dismantles its border fence.
Wow.
Build the wall.
Oh, walls always are handy, like
Right.
ours, that has stopped so many immigrants from coming over.
You know who could have really used a wall?
Huh.
Ukraine.
Yeah, I'm sure that would have done wonders for them.
Really could have used a wall.
Why are all our states people going to Ukraine? Is it just like
Political.
Nancy Pelosi went to Korea? Like, what is that?
Political theater.
What was that for? Like, what's she going to do?
She pledged $30 billion in support that now the Republicans have to say no if they don't want to. It's on them. That's
30 billion. I thought we already did like 80 or 800
we
billion.
did. Just wars cost money.
Why don't we just go there? It seems like...
Because of nukes.
What is he going to... I don't know.
He's going to nuke,
It just seems like such a stupid end game. Like, what...
Well...
it doesn't make sense.
If he didn't have nuclear weapons, I'm pretty sure we'd be there.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, we invaded Iraq.
Now, how do we know that they even work? Half his army doesn't work.
They tested the Tsar bomba.
Watched about
we're like, shit.
I watched their not a doc, but a little story about their newest tank.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. Like they built the prototype and then they ran out of money and now they can't build it anymore because they don't because we sanctioned it. They can't get the electronics for it.
They can't get the chip.
They're waiting on the chips.
The chip is made in Ukraine.
Probably. The guy that had that neon.
Yeah.
Okay, I might be sick.
Yeah. Spencer's gonna have to. Josiah, it's gonna be you and me here because Spencer shouldn't really
no,
be talking.
I'm hearing it now. I'm very nasal.
Well, that's what I mean. Not for your sake. I'm talking about for the listeners' sake.
No, you're right. You're right. It's pretty bad. I didn't realize. I've been so I went on Friday morning. I had like a scratchy throat, and I thought I probably just slept with my mouth open or something. I didn't think anything because I felt fine. And then the day went on. I feel fine. Later that night, I noticed that I'm blowing my nose, and I'm like, oh, no, come on.
Yeah.
I'm getting a cold, aren't I? This is
COVID.
No,
Yep.
I've already tested twice. I don't have COVID.
Did you really?
Yeah, well, I was not going to have you come over here if I had COVID.
Speaking of COVID, did either of you guys see the clips from the correspondence dinner?
I haven't watched it.
I read quotes from it.
Did you see Biden call out the Fox News hosts?
Oh yeah, they're all vaccinated. Oh,
They had to be vaxxed and boosted to go to the
Yep.
correspondence dinner.
Oh, did Tucker Carlson just say that he wasn't?
No, they refused to answer anytime someone asked them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Remember, they're like, well,
I
that's
thought-
personal.
I thought Tucker
Yeah.
just came out and said that he did not get vaccinated, even though we know that's a lie because you have
know.
to work for Fox.
Well, you have to go to the. Was he there? Do you know?
No
The
way.
course-
I don't know.
He's too busy working on his documentary.
Oh yeah.
What's he up to now?
We got to talk about that.
I forgot. I didn't even put that on the rundown.
No,
I
let's
forgot
bring it
about
up.
it. Have you not seen his?
Is this the male?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
The
preview images-
suntan your balls.
yes,
And,
it's a naked man with a UV light under his balls.
and what follows is a bunch of like really erotic gay.
Yeah, I saw the stuff on Colbert. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, man.
That's the best. That was the best place to see it all. He's he's such a freaking moron, man. Tucker Carlson's such an idiot. It's so funny.
Okay, I found an article from April 12th. Tucker was speaking in California and said that he suggested he hadn't been vaccinated. I don't believe him. Not for a second.
No, because Fox was requiring everybody to
Right.
be vaccinated.
What a weird guy, man.
He's a weird guy. Anyway, yeah, so I guess I have a cold. But also, I went to the doctor on Friday because I've been having stomach issues for like 2 weeks,
Yeah.
3 weeks, where I've been like gagging randomly. And
What?
did you not notice last time we jammed, like I kept not being able to sing because I was gagging? That was why.
You know, when we were in the market,
Yeah.
I used to gag when I would sing.
Yeah, I can't eat before we play anymore. Like I think that's what's causing
Well,
it.
that and no, but just from like the sheer force of like
Yeah.
yelling or something.
Yeah, it's
Until like we jammed a lot and I got it. Like I don't know,
I should probably do it more.
worked out the muscles.
But my stomach has been like hurting and like feeling weird, and I haven't been pooping well. And I know that because all I had to eat on Wednesday last week was like a bucket of watermelon and salad, and that would have destroyed me.
That's a lot of fiber.
Yeah. That would have been a fun night for me usually on the toilet, but nothing happened. And I got a little concerned. So I went to the doctor and I'm like, look, my back hurts. It's hurt since October when I had sciatica. It still has been bothering me. And I'm like, I take a lot of ibuprofen. And I think I may have an ulcer.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, you probably do. And so he took x-rays, and I wasn't backed up. He's like, there's a lot of gas in your colon, but I think you're okay.
You didn't do a scope?
No.
Huh.
Well, he's like, I can either give you a scope or you can just take this medicine and see if it helps. I'm like,
Oh, like ulcer medicine?
yeah.
The ulcer.
And it does. It has been. So that must be what's going on. But he also did an x-ray of my back, and there is one of my vertebrae has like a crack in it. Yeah. I don't know. He's like, well, it could have been from a car accident, or like I haven't had a car accident in like 15 years, and it wasn't really that bad. So I don't know.
Your back is broken?
Well,
Like as we speak?
it's a vertebrae. It's just it's a crack in
Well, I know
it,
what a
but
vertebrae is.
I guess. But anyway.
Those are the bones in your
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
There's not other bones.
Yeah, I wish I had I guess the Tanner Clinic doesn't put the X-rays on their
Remind me of Mike Tyson, man.
my
back is
patient
broken.
portal. Otherwise, I'd show you. But so he thinks like that's causing one of the discs to bulge, and
Or the dick to bulge.
my dick to bulge. Anyway, I'm gonna have an MRI, and so if I hit my deductible this year, just know I will be going to the doctor for everything.
Go get some cosmetic stuff
If I
done.
stub my toe, I'm going to the doctor. I have a
Take
headache.
advantage of it.
Doctor.
That's what you do.
Depends on your co-insurance, though.
My balls are hanging a little low. Doctor.
What's your co-insurance?
I don't know. Once I hit my deductible, it's like $10. It's nothing.
I don't know.
My deductible's like $5,000 though. So it's
Yeah.
it's
See, that's how they get you. Is
That's how they all get you.
They
Bringing insurance is stupid.
even after your deductible, they still only cover 70 or 80%.
Oh yeah, I can't remember.
And then you'll have an out of pocket max.
I just press buttons until it says I'm insured, just like how I press buttons until it says I've done my
Stupid
taxes.
universal health care. Come on. Well, I mean, why did you want Josiah on the show? I don't even know if that's his real name. I walked in and you guys
Oh,
were
that's my
talking
name.
about
That's my name.
him being called Norm.
Well, that was back, like you said, it was a rebrand when he was in college. He was trying to go for Norm.
Is that your middle name?
Yes, Norman is my
yeah.
middle name.
I rebranded myself. So in high school, my nickname was Paco, and I didn't mind it at the time. But post high school, I didn't really like it. But a lot of friends called me Paco,
right?
and I said I want you guys to call me James, because Brian
Right, I
didn't
remember
sound right.
that.
And so like Ethan still calls me James, and that's my middle
Well,
name.
Brent still calls
go.
you Sherm.
Sherm, right?
I've always called you Brian.
That
I
was
think.
Sherm started in junior high, which is where I met Brent,
Right?
and
Okay.
that's stayed with some people, and I like Sherm.
Do you?
Paco was a drumline thing.
I don't like Paco.
No, and I'm not. I'm very fair skinned.
Yeah, that's cultural appropriation.
Yeah.
You're gonna get canceled.
I actually had a friend in elementary school and junior high whose nickname was already Paco. He was a Korean kid, though.
That's somewhat better for some reason.
His real name was Jared.
That was his real name, or
His actual name was Jared,
Oh,
but
yeah.
we called him Paco.
so he.
Anyway.
I mean, he's like Korean, as in his ethnic.
He's actually
not,
Korean.
He's not from Korea
No, his dad is. His dad's
because
name
their names are like backwards. Like
Oh yeah, no, his last name is Jared. Shut
No,
up! I'm just
no,
kidding.
my
I know what you
roommates.
mean.
What was my roommate's name? I had a roommate named Joel, but his real name was like. It was backwards. Joel was actually his last name.
Well, it's like the Kims, Kim Jong Un, Kim
yeah,
Jong
yeah,
Il.
yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, you try
Yeah.
to rebrand.
Yeah, so what it probably came down to is Josiah is a name that really kind of starts a conversation, and I got kind of tired of that. So just went by Norm.
What kind
So-
of conversations were you having?
Oh, that's a nice name. I really like that name, that kind of stuff. So
How does
I mean, I feel like Norm starts conversations too.
does it?
Like Cheers. It reminds me of
Norm?
Cheers.
Yeah,
Norm
yeah. There was that
McDonald?
problem too.
Norm
So
McDonald.
I discovered other issues with
Yeah.
a different name. So,
So now,
yeah.
but you're good with Josiah
yeah,
now.
yeah, Josiah now.
Fair enough.
I think Norm is a name that gets assigned to like stupid people or something. Like if someone
Assigned
named
to stupid
someone
people?
named Norm is gonna say, "Did you seen it?" I already seen it.
Wait,
I seen it.
I've never heard of a name being assigned to someone because they're stupid.
No,
except for like,
I just
Nimrod.
something Norm. I don't like it. I don't know. Josiah just sounds better.
I mean, I
better.
thought you were Amish. When Spencer said we're going to have Josiah on the show.
Okay.
Is that the kind of conversations that you had? That you guys
No,
Okay.
no.
Do I know anyone else named Josiah?
And it's actually become quite a bit more popular now, and so it's like,
No,
I
you're
don't have problems with
trendy.
people figuring out how to spell it and things like that. So
Oh, Josiah.
yeah,
All right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Spencer is
that.
SPHENKER.
K-E-R.
Spanker.
Spectre. That's my screen name on
It is.
Xbox.
That's why I went with the K.
That's because someone used to call me that.
So
Spectre.
you guys went to college together?
No,
No.
but we lived.
In college housing.
Yeah, I don't know. You went to BYU, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry.
And I don't even know if I was ever enrolled in school when
You just lived in the student housing.
we lived together multiple
You had,
times,
like-
didn't we?
Yeah, you just moved to Utah from Texas, I think.
Yeah, because you
And
lived on the
that's
top
kinda-
floor of
Yep.
Bradbury, and then you moved down with the 114 crowd, and then we lived at the house together.
Yep.
And then we lived at Raintree together for a minute. With that.
We did.
The house together where the market jammed? That house?
Did we jam there?
Not when you were in the band, but when it was.
It was so it was the
Yeah.
we had like 10
Okay.
guys in that house.
Yeah, like a big front room.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. That's cool. I liked that place. I don't think we jammed there often. It was just like once or twice.
Right.
We also jammed rock band style there
We did
as well.
do that a lot.
Are you a musician as well?
I'm not, but I like music.
Yeah.
That's right.
So you probably went and saw Spencer's band Define.
He's a music snob though.
What does that mean?
He likes butt rock music, like
Well, I did at the time, but I'm
you would.
What like?
Not that I have nowhere.
Like Poison? Like what are we talking about?
no. I actually at the time I was really into prog rock, so
Like Dream
Rush
Theater?
and Dream Theater and things like that.
I like Dream Theater.
He just hated everything that we listened to.
Little math.
Yeah,
rock.
I was kind of snobby at the time for sure,
did.
but eventually I did start listening to more
Everybody
of that stuff.
has music that
I don't really care
You're
for the
snobbish about.
Beatles, so
I know it doesn't make any sense.
We
But
all
you
have
like
that.
Good Charlotte.
I.
They had a massive influence on the zeitgeist. Good Charlotte did.
Look, man, they were two brothers that were like, "Hey, we're not going to sell out," and then they sold out.
Totally sold
How
out.
cool is that? Now they're married to celebrities.
You know, Spencer and I write songs together that I think are
I
mediocre.
like our songs.
I think
at
they're
least.
okay, but we have very different tastes in music.
Yeah.
Spencer and I.
It's not that far off. I don't know. Look, I don't know. Have I ever explained to you why my music is so weird?
Texas.
No, well, it has to do with my mom and she making me listen to classical music and the Tabernacle Choir and stuff growing up. Like, I didn't start listening to music till I was like 17.
So classical music is the reason that your favorite band is Three Doors Down.
No, it's from Texas, and I don't know that they're my favorite.
That's what I
band
thought.
anymore.
I mean, Three Doors Down, you said had
It's
a huge
definitely-
following in Texas.
It's definitely bigger in Texas than it is here.
Right.
They post a lot of things now. Their singer does, and I'm like,
I mean, you said you were going to get the Nickelback tattoo removed.
I think Nickelback gets picked on way too much.
Well, that's the
They're
part.
not
That's
that-
why it's funny.
They're not
That-
that bad.
That's one I've always been snobbish about.
Yeah, everyone is like, it's like Utah picked a band to hate, and they were like, the
not-
whole state was like, hey.
It's way more than Utah. that hates
Well,
Nickelback.
I understand, but
they got booed off a stage in Brazil.
who hasn't been booed off a stage in Brazil? Brazil doesn't like The Simpsons, and who doesn't like The
What are you
Simpsons?
talking about?
They got mad at The Simpsons because they did an episode.
All
and
of Brazil did.
Yeah,
Is it the soccer one?
yeah,
Yeah, that one.
Actually, I can't
Everybody's
remember if
been-
that's the first because they did two. I think it's the soccer one.
That was an early one, wasn't it?
Yeah,
All 200 million Brazilians were pissed.
They're so mad.
dude. Yeah, they're very passionate. They're passionate.
Imagine like three Brazilian dudes hosting a podcast. Like, well, I hate Americans. They got pissed at the.
I didn't
What's a
say
Brazilian
they
with a
hate
Portuguese
Americans. I
name?
said they hate The Simpsons.
I know.
The
I know.
Simpsons
I'm
does
saying
not equal.
I don't like Americans because they don't like a Portuguese name animated show. I can't think. I mean, I don't know any Portuguese words.
You don't?
Think of no. Do you?
I don't know. It's pretty close to Spanish.
Juan?
It's probably just-
Bon dia. That's how
There
you
you
say
go.
Oh, there you
hello.
go. See, I-
Bon
it's-
dia.
it's like Spanish and French combined.
I have heard it's like drunk Spanish.
I think Spanish is like drunk Spanish.
It depends. If you're in like Honduras, maybe.
like
Like Mexican Spanish,
yeah, when Natalia, like my friend Natalia, she's from Brazil. When she speaks Portuguese to her mom, it sounded nice. It just sounds, I don't know. And then when Luis's mom speaks Spanish to him, I don't know. It sounded mean, scary.
Where's she from?
Honduras.
Honduras, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't mean to make fun of Honduras a minute ago. Sorry. We'll cut it out. We'll cut it out. You speak another language?
I speak German.
Right on.
Yeah, you went to German.
To German.
German.
To German.
To Berlin.
Berlin.
Randy went to Germany.
Yeah, I know.
You
I
guys
was-
could speak
Yeah.
German to each other.
I just German food. We went to the German food place together last time. I
Siegfried,
saw you.
yeah. Did that.
Randy, our other friend, they had just had a German food cookout or whatever.
Yeah, it's a birthday party.
I didn't make it, but he brought me a plate over, and I gotta say, everything. I don't
It
know
was
what-
really good.
I don't know what all he made, but
He made schnitzel.
the schnitzel.
No,
was,
he made all that.
The schnitzel was like on fire.
The
man. It
red
was
cabbage, what's that
freaking
called?
good.
The red cabbage. So depends on what area of Germany you're in, but Rotkohl
Road coal.
and
Yeah, I don't know
other
how to say
places
it
will
right.
call it Blaukraut.
Okay.
Germans have multiple words for cabbage.
Right.
They love it so much. So
Yeah, he did good on that cabbage.
It was good.
was
I
probably-
liked it. I was impressed. And what were those potatoes? That was crazy.
Dumplings.
Is that what it was? So they weren't potatoes?
No, they were. They're potato dumplings.
Okay. They were really
Is that
good.
German? I don't even know if that's German.
I think it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
They had a sauce.
The dumplings, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, gravy. Yeah, yeah. No, it was good. It was a good feast.
Klose.
Anyway,
I must be hungry.
no, I was just like impressed, like
Yeah.
thoroughly, and it made me wish there was more German food places that I could.
Within 24 hours of this being, we'll release this show, you'll probably hear from Randy.
Yeah.
He'll want to cook with you or something.
Oh yeah, the best thing was whenever people cooked for you, it's like you put your face over the plate and the steam comes up, and it's just good stuff.
Releases your pores.
So people don't think of German food as being like good food, though. You know, it's not like
It's true. It doesn't like come up.
Right. I
the
mean, there's
way-
only like one German food place in the whole state.
Right.
Right. Do you know of another one besides Siegfried's?
Siegfried's. There's a Bohemian Brewery down at near Fort Union.
It's true though, because it is really good food. You'd think there would be like how there's Mexican restaurants,
Like everywhere.
Hawaiian
There's not
restaurants.
enough Germans here. You have
Yeah.
to go
Yeah,
down
that's
to
probably what it
Brazil.
takes.
Full
Go to
circle.
Brazil. That's where all the Nazis repatriated.
Yeah, you'd probably find lots in Brazil.
Go to Brazil for German food.
Yeah.
Or just go to Germany, I guess.
Well, they actually,
For Brazilian food.
yeah, I think they actually, that might be how they got like cooking on spits.
The
But that
Brazilians?
kind of came through out of like Macedonia into Germany and then to Brazil. But yeah,
Really?
cooking meat on a spit that kind of I think that did come from Germany.
Wow, that's interesting.
The area where I was actually a place where they have this stuff called Spießbraten, which is you cook a big wad of meat on a spear over a fire for like 2 hours. And so, yeah.
Just like a conglomerate of meat, or is it a special?
Yeah, so you get a bunch of meat and you put onions in the middle and you wrap it up in string and you put it on a spear and
That's
just
cool.
cook
Sounds
it over the
amazing.
fire.
I'm kind of hungry. I gotta
Yeah.
be honest.
American food sucks. You
Well,
know,
it's a
I
melting
just-
pot.
I
That's what
know, but
happens.
I just want more. I need more variety in my life.
I think we've talked about if there's any American food.
I'm sure we have, and I've wondered that many times, but I think American food is just garbage food.
It's just
Just
it's
the
just
fast
a,
food.
Yeah.
it's just a mesh of everything.
I mean,
that's-
when you go to other countries, the main staples are McDonald's and KFC that are from here. There's so many KFCs in London and Sydney and Tokyo. And like London, they were everywhere. It was crazy.
so
How
you're
many
saying
KFCs
fried
were.
chicken.
I guess
an American food.
yeah, that would make sense. But schnitzel is fried chicken. Essentially, is just different.
That's true.
I
That's
don't
true.
know.
There's no bone.
I know. I mean, it's different, but you know, at the end of the day, it's a piece of chicken that's been fried with breading.
Fair enough. Fair enough. What's going on in Canada?
Did I talk about my doctor's visit?
Yeah.
You did.
All right.
What medicine are you on?
No.
Yeah, your back is broken. Remember?
No, that's right. I have to have an MRI. Anyway, no, I just forgot. We talked about going to Canada last week or last time.
Yeah.
And there was one thing I wanted to talk about that I forgot because I went to the Blue Jays game, and I was like, oh, cool. I've never been to another country for a sporting event. You know, I'm going to see them sing their national anthem. So they did "O Canada," and then directly after they did the Star Spangled Banner, and I was like, who is this for? Who? Why are we doing this?
Because it's an American league.
But I'm trying to think if we do that here or
Well,
when
when we play soccer games, we do. We whenever like Vancouver comes and plays,
we do both.
or Montreal or Toronto, we'll do
I
both.
feel like I've seen that happen in a Jazz game when they play the Raptors.
I guess
Yeah.
that would make sense.
I think. Either way.
Huh. All right.
Yeah.
Why do we still do the national anthem in general?
I don't know. Mark Cuban doesn't, apparently.
Oh, really?
At Mavs
Did he
games.
stop?
Yeah.
Is that why they beat the Jazz?
It's got to be.
Did you watch all the games?
I went to the last game.
Thanks for the invite again.
I went with Ashley. I'm not going to invite you. It's a date.
Got a date for you.
Listen, we can talk about the Jazz for a second, okay?
Well, that's all you need. They didn't deserve to win, and they were not good, and they're probably going to get reorganized.
No, they're not. Ryan Smith is not. Danny Ainge isn't going to do that either. It's just not their
You know why
style.
they lost, don't you? They didn't have Joe Ingles to bring them together.
I don't disagree with that analysis. I think that the Mavericks obviously played a lot better than the Jazz.
That dude's face is so punchable.
Luka?
Yeah, his face is. So
I don't know if you heard
punchable.
in the we were chanting "Baby Luka" for a while in the arena.
Oh, really?
Because he complains about every call.
Every time I was watching I was watching the draft for a while first, and then I came onto the game because it looked like they were winning. I was like, all right. Then they started losing, so I turned it off, like thinking maybe
It was you?
Yeah. But I did tune in for the last play when Bogey friggin'
I have it recorded. It's the most disappointing moment of the year. I saved it.
Well, did you see that Chris on Facebook? Chris, he's been on the show a million times. Chris is like, why did you not take the 2?
That's true. No, it's a good point.
But why he would have missed the 2 as well? Like that shot wasn't why they lost the series.
No, it was a really good play, and it worked perfectly. And he just kind of choked. It's fine. Like it's a tough shot in the moment, you know.
Josiah, are you still fanatical about soccer? I do remember you being like waking up at like 3 a.m. to watch foreign soccer games. Fanatical. About football.
One thing is I don't have cable TV, so I don't get a lot of games anymore.
You can't stream them?
Reddit, man. You got to find that Reddit thread.
Well, I don't know. That's a lot of work.
I agree.
Once you have it, though, then it just loads, right? You just got to find the right one.
What I do, I follow Real Salt Lake, so I watch all those games.
Right.
Saturday mornings, I'm actually coaching both of my boys' soccer games. So and having kids and stuff, it's busy. So I don't.
Are you going to turn them into soccer stars or football stars?
Well, only if that's their dream,
Do you follow like the German teams then?
Not really. No.
What about during the World Cup? Is that your team?
No, USA is my team in the World Cup.
Very good.
But,
he went to Germany for 2 years. He didn't expatriate and become
Listen,
German.
some people do.
I know that
Some
is
people
like
do.
the standard mission thing to do.
Yeah,
like
some
that's
people
their
do.
soccer
Is
association.
to come back with
so-
a
Right.
look. I like Manchester United now. They're my favorite, and then they wear the jersey, but they don't really care.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they all are.
Anyway.
I'm just saying, Josiah liked football before his mission,
Okay.
and then
Did.
it just grew. When
I
came
think I
back.
probably got a lot more into it later afterwards, but
Why
I actually
aren't
really
you-
enjoy going to Real games.
Why aren't you a Seattle? Aren't you from Washington, right?
I'm from Washington. Yes,
the Seattle.
My
Kraken?
first-
Is it the Kraken?
no,
Who is the
that's
Kraken?
hockey. That's
Is it?
hockey.
Okay.
Um,
Sounders. Is
The
Sounders?
first
that right?
professional game I ever went to was a Sounders game,
Oh,
like
really?
before MLS. But no, I've been here for almost as long as I lived in Washington. So
Me too. I'm coming
Yeah.
up on 16 or 17
So
years.
you more of a Real fan now?
yeah, I kind of since 2009 when they went to the final. Like I went with some people and took a van.
Wait,
drove
do you
down there.
still go in the crazy section?
I haven't had season tickets since I had kids.
Do they have that? I don't know if they have that section.
after
at
post
the-
COVID.
No, just at the. That was like when they were playing at Rice Eccles.
No, they had a section.
No, it's like the South End is
Yeah,
where it's
yeah.
a supporter
Oh, it's got
section.
that,
It's where the people they
the
bring the
drums?
drums
Oh,
and
yeah,
they,
okay,
the,
yeah.
And the song that
big
guy
banners.
wrote from was Rancid. Or
Rancid,
something?
yeah.
Rancid.
Right on.
What is it? The drummer?
Like the chant
Can't
song?
remember.
Yeah, he's the drummer.
Yeah, he's the drummer from Rancid.
Brian
He's a
Steinecker.
big RSL fan.
Really?
He lives here.
So he wrote
Yeah.
that like chant song they sing when
Yeah, I
you
think
get,
so.
you
Yeah.
get a goal. Right on.
Yeah, he did.
Anyway, I was talking about the Jazz before you switched it to soccer.
We were actually talking about Canada.
That's true.
I was actually looking up the Jazz scores because I have no idea what happened.
They didn't deserve to win. They
Listen.
lost.
Every 20, there are 30 teams in the league,
Yeah.
which means fans in 29 other cities think that their team choked every year.
Yeah, that's
Every
true.
year. So I hate it. I get so sick of it when the Jazz lose. They made the playoffs for 6 years.
But the Jazz do choke every year.
It's not choking when you lose in the playoffs to a higher seeded team.
The
not
Mavericks
choking.
were higher seeded.
Yes, they were seeded 4th. We were seeded 5th.
Come on, man. That's semantics. 4th and 5th.
It's there for a reason.
It's not like it's 1 and 18 or something like the.
Well, first of all, it only goes 1 through 8.
Like the final
right?
4.
So when you're playing the 5th seeded team, you're playing a team that is better than 2/3 of the league, which you only played 33% of the time during the regular season.
Yeah.
It's basic math.
That's true.
It's a good
I
point.
hate it.
Well-
I hate it. And the fans do this in every city. I don't think it's worse
every
here by
sport,
any
every
means.
city.
I just get sick of it. It's
your
like, listen-
team will always disappoint you
Right.
far more than
No, just
than
like
they'll
just be
make you
glad
happy.
they made the playoffs. They
Yeah.
gave us a good series. It went to 6.
I will tell you
the
there are.
Nets got sweeped.
Yeah, I'm actually really stoked about the Nets getting sweet.
Like-
I'm really stoked about these super teams just falling apart. They're all falling apart. It's like the era of super teams is kind of done.
Except for the Warriors, they'll probably win
They
this
don't
year.
have a super team though. They're just
I
they're
mean,
just good.
You could argue that between
They had a super team when they won all those in a row.
well,
but
they got Steph, they got Draymond, they got Clay, they got you know what I mean. Like
I
that's
guess.
how many do you need before it's a
I guess.
super team?
I mean,
You know, the
yeah,
whole starting lineup
yeah.
is $20 million a
But
year.
they used to have Kevin Durant and was that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
He's the one who left, and he just got swept by the Celtics.
Yeah, he's not very good anymore. Or I don't know.
He's fine.
I don't know.
He's got a ring.
This is more sports than we usually talk about.
It's true. Well, I mean, you know, the Jazz just lost. Very disappointed.
Soccer. I saw Real. They had a game yesterday.
They did.
It was a midday game, and they played the Galaxy, didn't they?
They played Galaxy, and they got a goal, which they got a goal right after the half, which I missed because I was out doing yard stuff for a second before I came back. But the Galaxy actually got like a stoppage time goal at the very end that got disallowed because of an offside call.
Oh.
So did Real win?
Yes.
1-0.
Yep. 1-0.
Look at that. I went to Monster Jam.
Did you really? My
Last
sister
night.
went to that
Holy
too.
shit.
How was that?
Monster Jam in Rice Eccles in a football arena is 100 times better
Why? Just
because they have so much more
Oh,
room.
that would be better. Yeah.
I've never been.
I took my kids to it a couple years ago
yeah,
when they had
like
it at.
it's cool
like,
at Vivint,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yep.
cool, but
But it's small.
It's small.
Right. It's that tight little
Yeah.
area.
I'm surprised that the groundskeepers at Rice Eccles are
they tore up the grass.
cool. Well, I know they bring in all their own dirt. Have you ever seen like
Yeah, the time-lapse
a time
is so
lapse
cool.
setup? But
I can't-
still, they have to pull all that dirt off.
Right. I'm sure they put like a membrane
Yeah,
down, probably
probably.
wood. But no, it's if you have the chance to see Monster Jam in a football stadium
Yeah.
or something like that, like a motor speedway. Holy crap, man! It's so cool. So much
What's
fun.
so
have to-
cool?
have
Like,
to watch for that.
what is the appeal? I don't know. I've never been.
I think you need to just look up some Monster Jam.
Is it just
Monster
them
truck
jumping
clips.
over cars and crushing them? And
No,
stuff, or-
no, dude. They do backflips now, and they
Yeah.
and donut. Well, they'll donuts sommes depending on the dirt.
I like
but
donuts.
They have
they do
have like
hand-
certain
handstands and-
tricks they have to do.
Yeah.
They don't do the cars until the very end because they
right.
like they smash
Actually,
them.
in
And
fact,
then
they
they're
didn't
done.
even have. They had cars on one end. They didn't. It's not a thing anymore. It's more about the tricks than it is the smash.
You know, they come up on two wheels and
Yeah.
they try to do all these crazy flips.
And it was
It's kind of fun.
Apparently, it was the last competition of the season. I don't know how Monster Jam is
They
set
have
up.
seasons.
Yeah, but so these guys went nuts on the freestyle at the end. We saw like 6 of the trucks broke, like broken axle. You know, I don't know all the parts, but it's super cool.
It's
Super cool.
it's
I
fun.
only
It's
know
fun.
the axle.
It's fun for my kids because they actually have all the toys.
Yeah.
And so like we went there when we went there were 8 trucks and we had like 6 of the toys of the trucks already. So the kids recognize the trucks and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Speaking of trucks, I want to bring this up real quick because it's been on my mind pretty heavily. Cars, the movie Cars.
You brought this up before, didn't you?
Did we talk about this already?
I don't think so.
Did we?
You brought this up. I know you did, but it has something to do with like how they
Oh,
kind of how they live their lives.
Well, it's just every
right?
Thursday when I go see my sister and my nephew, Cars is always on, and I have so many questions.
That's his movie. Yeah.
Like why, like how does a car die? What part of them has to turn off permanently for them to die? and why is it when they get in a plane in a boat?
Humans ask the same question.
Yeah, we did talk about this. I
Yeah.
remember. It's just I just want to know more about this alternate car universe.
There's
This is the same reason you don't like the Beatles. I feel like it's the
I
same. I
don't-
can't articulate how, but it's the same reason You're talking shit on cars because you don't understand
I'm not talking anything
where
on
their
it.
soul comes from.
I just want to know the mechanics.
I feel like this is going to lead right into an abortion debate.
You know, how do they bear children?
Yes.
Like, what is that?
Like, do they have like? Do you put something in the tailpipe, or is there
No.
Is there another hole somewhere?
There's another
or,
hole. It's
or do
clearly
you just
explained.
do you like order your car and have it manufactured?
Yeah.
And who manufactures
It's
it?
gotta be
Other
manufactured.
cars?
I mean, I think you should know, but Disney
If
does
you ever
not
saw
believe in
robots,
souls.
if you ever saw robots, they get sent a box and they have to put their child together.
Okay, I have seen that. Yeah.
Thank you for
Yeah.
helping him.
Is
'cause
that
you
what
know,
they? Okay.
But there's all kinds of fan theories about it. Actually, I saw like one diagram where it's like a person inside of it, like operating everything, and like there's actually biological beings inside of the cars that operate them.
Okay. So maybe it's like the next level of evolution. Like
Actually-
Cars is like in a galaxy far, far away in the future.
not evolution. It's a primitive simulation, is what it is. It's a simulation eons before the one we're in now, because it dealt with mechanical rather than biological beings.
So speaking of simulations, all right, you know how we're all in one, but I was watching Star Trek the other day, like I do, and Data, who's an android, right? He's not supposed to have any feelings, even though clearly he does sometimes. But
Usually when something goes wrong with his programming, right?
no, it just
Was that a movie when they gave him feelings? Was that in a movie?
He gets an emotion chip in
Gets a chip.
the last season.
and he's like singing to himself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so he's this girl starts wanting to date him, you know, because she's enamored with him for whatever reason, and so they start dating, and she brings him a gift, and he, you know, he talks about it, he's like, oh, thank you, blah blah blah, and he puts it somewhere, and then she says, oh, I'm sorry, you can go back to painting, because he was painting before, and then he starts painting again, and then she's just like, you know, like, because he wasn't supposed to go back to painting. He
Oh, it was a
supposed to-
test.
right?
Yeah.
Right. You know how women are. Did I just get canceled?
No.
Anyway, and I was just thinking, you know, you could program. We're just all programmed, man. You could program someone to.
Zeros and ones, man.
So yeah, so like I just started thinking really deep about it. Like you could, if you know basic, like I don't know programming at all, but I know the basic, you know, do this and this happens, sort of thing.
If then.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
And so
Ones and
you
zeros.
could program an Android to, if you see this face, then you know.
Stop painting.
Right.
I see what you're saying. Yep.
And I was like, oh man, we are in a simulation. We're all just robots.
I see. Here's why I got upset about cars. Okay, you bring up cars that you're confused by it. You don't understand it. You don't understand how your family watches it because you don't understand if they're beings, if they procreate,
I
whatnot.
never said any of this.
You did. You implied it. Here's the problem. You will watch Star Trek, and not your first question isn't, which is my first question, is she wants to date Data. Is he anatomically
He is.
whole?
And he's programmed in many techniques, as he'll tell you.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because his creator wanted to make him as human as possible.
No, he didn't. He didn't let him have any emotion.
He made the emotion chip. But he
How
didn't-
long was
he
Data
did-
around
but-
before he gave him emotion?
No, you have to watch the whole series to understand.
I can't get past that
that
part,
his
so I'm not going to
brother
watch it.
Lore,
Just like with
his
with
brother
cars.
Lore stole the emotion chip from him, and he didn't get it back till the last season when they destroyed Lore, his brother, who was made kind of evil.
That's thin, man.
That's
Just
what
gonna say,
happened.
They couldn't find it. They couldn't have another chip.
No,
All the technology in the galaxy,
Dr.
and they-
Soon was. No one's been able to compare with his androids, with his neural network.
Did Lore kill Dr. Soon?
Yes, actually.
Yeah. Could have guessed it. See that? Could have guessed it. Anyway. Canada.
What?
Canada.
We're talking about Canada.
I was talking about ones and zeros.
but we
how we're just all in a simulation. We're all just simulated, and how I just want to know, when does AI just become I? Like
that's the whole simulation theory. We're already there.
But like, why can't we? I know people will say that. Have you seen the robot where it's a robot arm and he's like reaching out for oil?
No.
Because he's trying to survive. He's trying to pull oil in, and I'm like, well,
we are the I.
At what point does the robot become sentient and is legitimately, because it's trying to survive? That's what it's doing. So who's to say it doesn't have an emotion? What is an emotion? It's just your programming saying, when your girlfriend dumps you, you have this feeling in your chest.
Right. No, that's exactly what it is. And our sim creators did that in our brains with the limbic system, the amygdala. Right? That's the programming. Are you familiar? Josiah, do you think we're living in a simulation? Have you guys ever spoken about this?
I actually watched The Matrix last night. So
that'll do it.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
That'll do it.
The first one, original, or the new one?
The original, yeah.
I don't know. It's the next religion. The simulation.
Well,
it's a lot of money in religion.
Yeah.
We should start one.
But you're right. That is the programming. And to go take this one step further, neurologists diagnose things like narcissism by looking at those brain structures and if they activate or if they're smaller, right?
Right.
So, what I'm saying, you ask, where's the I? The I is our brain. That's our brain.
I know, but how long before
the next level
of robots that we make aren't AI? They're I. And what's the difference between them?
Our simulation
and us.
Our sim admins will never let us create an AI that's real, right? Because we're theirs. So they're like, the next level of sentience for us is for us to realize and confirm that we are in a simulation. So we're actually technically not sentient to them. We don't have any view of our actual reality.
This is deep stuff.
If I was feeling better, we'd go further into this.
Oh man!
But instead, we'll move on to these crazy freaking tornadoes.
Oh
that
man,
I've seen.
Speaking of TikTok, Josiah, this is a reason to get back on TikTok because there are some crazy clips of this.
Do you have the clip?
No.
Oh,
this Kansas. I saw another one today though from a guy's deck.
Now I want to.
Like he was, filming his neighbor's houses.
So, like I told you on the text you sent me the other day, I am fairly certain, and there have been some people that are saying this as well, that this may be one of the most well documented tornadoes ever, because
did it take longer than normal to form?
It wasn't like it was a big tornado, but it wasn't like a mile wide tornado. It was very photogenic. It happened in the middle of a city.
Photogenic.
And so everyone is just all around it filming it.
Yeah.
And it was obviously dangerous. I mean, if you watch the video that I'm going to show you,
it's sucking up houses.
That drone video, I do not think there's been anything like that ever.
Yeah, the detail, like you could see all the debris out 600 yards from the center.
Here's the link.
Was super cool.
Oh, I think I might have just messed that up.
Yeah, I think I did see that video.
But here's another thing I'm going to... play the video first.
All right, it's pulling up. No, go ahead. It's going to be thinking for a sec until I find it.
So, sorry. I'll let me sidebar with this order I was taking the other day from one of my T-shirts on Etsy, and this girl's like, "Is a large gonna fit me as a medium?" And I'm like,
"Send me nudes."
She just keeps asking me. I'm like, I don't know. It's a T-shirt. If a large fits you normally, then a large will probably fit you this time. I don't know what to tell you. I don't. Anyway,
send nudes and I'll let you know.
I was so frustrated with this person. So
All
you
right, here
think
we go.
She's like, so you think I won't be swimming in it? Like, I have no idea.
I think I'm Bluetooth to the mixer so you can, if there's any sound on this. So we're seeing a tornado. Come on, pan over. What's this guy got? Real time? Come on.
Are you?
I don't know why it's not playing any sound. But look at this debris you can see over here. It's crazy. Like, look how far out some of this stuff is.
Is this the right video? What? Oh, here it is.
This is a cool shot. I haven't seen this one.
This is not the right
Vortex behavior. I just clicked on the link you sent me.
video. I know. Maybe I sent you the wrong link.
I just want to know, like, what this stuff is.
It's houses.
That's a whole house right there?
Oh.
You have no scale,
Yeah.
Like, is that a roof? Is that a full roof right there?
Well.
There's a transformer blowing.
Where?
Let me make sure this is... Yeah, we're turned up here.
The very beginning is the one of the drone. Go to the very beginning of the video. I'm wondering if I sent you... Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I saw.
Man, look at it rip up.
And you can just see it, like, just pulling
that's a
the
whole
houses
roof right
up,
there.
right? Just pulls them up.
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever been a video that's been like this before.
Yeah, look at those roofs just...
That's gone there and seen, like, that close up of how it pulls up the houses and everything.
Yeah.
And,
I don't see any bodies, which is good.
Yeah. There hasn't been any deaths.
Really? Yeah.
No.
Because I'm sure, many, many times that these little pieces of debris have been a body at some point.
Yeah.
Like,
that does happen.
is this the same one?
Yeah, I think it's just the same.
Oh, look at it come down. Yeah, we're watching the vortex come
video.
down. Oh,
But-
wait, did you see those? Is this a transformer blowing right here?
Yeah, that's power flash. That's kind of one of the things you look for when you're.
It's crazy,
confirming a
like
tornado.
So, is there a bunch of air right here, spinning that we can't see?
Yeah.
It's
It just
just like
hasn't
the-
condensed yet.
The dew point temperature.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's so yeah, I mean, this tornado is I was watching coverage into the night, and there's just so many videos from so many people. And
I know you've told me before. How fast do they typically move, like land speed, like across? You know what I mean?
it varies.
It wasn't the one you told me about like crazy fast though. Like I can't remember though. You said there was one that was like super fast, and I can't remember what speed you told me. It was like 90 miles an hour or something.
No, that's pretty. I'd say 60 to 70 is the fastest that they go.
That they move across the land.
Yeah, but that's just dependent on the storm. Like there were some storms last week where they were just going 20. They were just dragging.
I guess the way the air is working, they wouldn't be moving that far laterally, right?
I mean,
Because
yeah.
it's whatever. I'm not a meteorologist. That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Now,
It's more proof we're in a simulation. Things like this don't occur naturally.
Now, one thing that has and I don't know how to say this without sounding like a dick. So I'm just gonna say it
Here we go.
and just hope for the best. But 5 people sent me that clip of that tornado.
All right.
You, my sister,
The same clip?
Luis, yeah. I can't remember who else, but I appreciate that you think about me, and you're like, I bet Spencer would like this clip, but I've already seen it.
Well, I wasn't sending it to you
No,
because I
I
didn't
know.
think you had seen it.
I know,
I sent it to you because I wanted to talk about it.
yeah, I know,
I mean,
but all the other people sent it to me because they thought I hadn't seen it. And same goes with bird videos. Like, I'm like, oh, that's so cute. I've seen this.
have you never been sent a video
No.
that you haven't
No,
seen yet?
not a bird video or tornado video. Never. No, I've seen them all. I am. They know me. TikTok.
Well, but how?
Facebook? They know what I look at.
I understand, but lots of these videos were probably sent to you within 4 hours of these being uploaded, right?
The tornado one, yeah.
So
Bird ones are like months later.
Yeah.
such an asshole.
I know. Like I said,
I'm never sending you another fucking video
there's no way
ever
for me.
again.
There's no way for me to say that without sounding like a dick. There's no way.
So you understand?
It's fine, and you can keep sending to me, and I will keep engaging in conversation with you. But if you're thinking, oh, I bet Spencer has never seen this video before, I've seen it. I've seen them all.
When I send a video to anyone, I'm not thinking they've never seen this before. I'm going to be the first fucking person to ever send this to them. They're going to love me for it. They'll never forget me. I'm their best friend.
They're going to date me.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave my wife.
I send it to them and it's like, this is funny or this is interesting. We should
Or
talk
like
about it rather than not
conversation starter, right?
Exactly.
It's like
All
I'm
right.
thinking about you.
You know, then
right?
You are not that special, sir.
I retract everything I said. It's great.
I'm sorry. You know what?
It's great. No, you're right.
I took my pills before we started.
You're right.
Maybe they haven't
my
just
bad.
kicked in.
My apologies.
On edge.
It's fine, and I appreciate
sending you
people.
videos.
Appreciate people thinking about me.
Listen, yeah, you should look at that and say, people care about
Yeah,
me.
no, you're right, and that's why I shouldn't even brought it
some
up. I
people-
shouldn't even brought it up.
I mean, when was
And that's your chance to like give more facts about that video.
Right.
You're like, yeah, actually,
And
this
then I
was.
sound like a freaking
you sound like me?
yeah.
Yeah. No, that's why I send that to you too, because I know you know about. I knew you probably look at it and be like, yeah, it was Kansas.
Yeah, it was
18 hours ago.
It was crazy. It was
You know?
crazy tornado, man. So
But that should be a sign of just how much you're on people's
know,
minds. Some
you're
people
right.
see a tornado
You're
and just like, fuck, just keep going.
You're right. No, I
These people saw it and thought, Spencer.
like I said, there's
love
no
that
way
guy.
for me to say that without sounding like a dick. I guess what I'm getting at.
Please don't send me birthday
no,
cards.
no, it's fine. It's fine.
I'm going to start
I
sending you
love
bird
them,
videos
Yes.
But if
Absolutely.
I only send you a heart reaction, don't get offended, okay?
I don't need any
Because
reaction.
maybe
This is boring. It's only an F2.
yeah. Well, I'm not going to do that. Like, yeah, I saw this. Go fuck yourself. Send me something else.
I mean, I've certainly Ethan and I send a lot of silly TikTok videos to one another.
Yeah, I
And,
know.
Yeah, I'll certainly just say like, saw it, hilarious. Or the little ha-ha tap back,
Yeah, I'm just saying, if that's what I send you back, just don't be offended.
Listen, I mean, when I send you a video, I'm not fishing for a compliment from
Yeah, you are. Don't lie.
I'm just saying this was a cool tornado.
I saw your narcissistic
Yeah.
test that you took.
Man. Yeah, we'll start a group thread, the three of us, and we'll just load it with bird
Totally.
videos about how dumb they are.
Oh man.
What's next?
Speaking of dumb people,
Hey,
Josiah,
ones and zeros.
Josiah wanted to talk about flat Earth people because he just got into the documentaries, which are some of my favorite. And honestly, the ending of what's it
The
called?
Netflix one.
Yeah,
Behind the curve.
Behind the
Yes.
Curve
Yep.
is, in my opinion, the greatest documentary in
Such a good ending.
to
It's
any
better-
documentary ever made.
It's
a
better
good
than
one.
The Sopranos.
Oh, by a long shot,
'Cause it
dude.
just-
Because they get proven wrong, and they're just like,
Oh.
That's
Interesting. That's what
interesting.
And-
interesting.
credits and music.
Yeah.
Like, it was
It's always they did something wrong in the experiment,
Right.
or
Or the math isn't
there's
right.
like the math's not right, or there was some factor contributing to it.
right. The math was invented to prove that the Earth was round. It's not real math. Right.
Right.
Oh man, have you
Yeah,
been
something
sucked
like
into
that.
the flat Earth
Well,
podcast?
Well, the thing is,
There's a podcast, and these guys like it sucks you in, not because you.
Don't lie. There was halfway through Behind the Curve, you were like,
Oh shit. Yeah. No, it is. There are times when you're like, that's a compelling argument. I need to hear the counterpoint, right?
Right.
But it just sucks you in because you're like, man, these guys are so. What's the word? Like fervent about
they're
it. So
very committed.
Yeah.
Very committed to the belief.
yeah.
So what how it came about is I've been for the last 2 years I've been trying to understand why people believe in things like QAnon,
right.
and so I do a lot of reading. So I read a lot of psychology stuff.
I'm gonna give you
stuff
a
about
reason. I'm gonna give you a reason to get on TikTok. Go ahead. Keep
okay,
talking.
yeah. So stuff about
You just show
conspiracy
them the good
theories,
Yeah.
stuff about political psychology, cult dynamics, and then lot of other things that they all contribute to just conspiracy thinking. At the very first, I kind of I thought about it as like, oh, it's just like just mental mistakes that we all make, like confirmation bias and not understanding that correlation is not causation. But as I started digging into it more and learning about the psychology of conspiracy theories, where there's things like patternicity and agenticity and the tendency to see patterns in everything and to want to believe that somebody's responsible for things happening. All those things have been just really interesting that I've been kind of getting into, and what kind of started that was shortly after the pandemic started, I learned that a family member of mine was really into conspiracy theories, and that's when I first learned about QAnon. And he set me onto a book about it, and I read it. It just one of the QAnon people kind of documenting all the drops that came out early on in the process. And so I kind of learned about that, and then really kind of got into my reading.
What's the name of the book
series? It's called The Q Chronicles by Dave something.
Dave Q.
Yeah, but he's one of the people. I guess.
Hayes.
Yeah.
Calm Before the Storm.
Calm Before the Storm. That's the one I read, and it really just kind of documents a lot of the early Q drops that came out, and
like the real Q before Q got
before
the
early,
HBO
Q.
Yeah.
Have you watched that HBO
it was
documentary?
I haven't watched that one.
And the dude says that he's Q.
But so there was apparently there was someone that was there was one guy that was Q at the beginning, but now it's like the guy.
Died.
Yeah, it's the guy that runs 4chan, whatever his name was. Watkins.
Right, yeah.
Was it Watkins? Is that his name?
He's allegedly Q.
Yeah.
And
And so
4chan, that's
it was
the same guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's the same guy that was on the HBO
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, it was him and his dad, I think.
Hiroyuki Nishimura.
Yeah. I knew he was
It
Asian.
wasn't that guy. It was a I think his name was like Watkins or something like that.
Maybe that's how you say it in English.
But anyway, so I went on this big. So I just read books. I read lots of books, and so
He's well read.
I've read lots of stuff about psychology and things. I got it. I started watching YouTube instead of like TV shows at night, and stumbled onto a debate. This show called Middle Ground, where they had three flat earthers debating with three like scientists, and it's really kind of funny because people that are into flat Earth debating is like all they think about, right? That's like their whole existence. But people that are studying the Big Bang and how the Big Bang came about, they're not thinking about how to like explain why we know that the Earth is round. And so watching them debate was kind of pointless.
Yeah.
And so they don't really get that far. And the thing about debating is you put people on a stage, and the people that are better at debating are usually the ones that win debates. And so
the Ben Shapiro effect.
Exactly.
He's a good debater.
Yeah, so you don't get much out of it. So that's what kind of tipped me off into, like, I got really fascinated with, because when you first hear about flat earthers, you're just like, they don't really believe that. They're trolling.
They're trolling.
They're trolling you. That's everybody's first reaction.
Right.
But these people actually believe this stuff.
Right.
And so that made me think, okay, we can learn a lot about like conspiracy thinking by, kind of observing how flat earthers are. And the thing about flat Earth is it's something that's really simple. It's a really simple concept, and it's really easy to debunk.
Right.
Like, you just ask one of them to explain how a sunset works.
Right.
If you're familiar with
you can
it.
actually just book a flight, and
Yeah.
you can see the curvature of the Earth
Right.
really easily.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like 10 minutes after takeoff,
Yeah.
you could see it.
Yeah. So you could, like, normal people, like anybody could debunk it pretty easily, but people still believe in it, and they're very committed to the idea. And so it tells you a lot about kind of the nature of conspiracy thinking and how you really just get entrenched in it. And so that's kind of why I got interested in it. I read this book called Over the Edge. I think
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, and there's a really great chapter in that book about YouTube rabbit holes, which is basically how people get into it, and pretty much any conspiracy theory, including QAnon. Basically, the way YouTube's algorithm is set up, it's designed to serve you more content based on the content you've previously consumed, and so
it's a mathematical confirmation bias.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, exactly. And so what happens is they'll watch one video about something totally unrelated, and then a thing will pop up about flat Earth, and if you put like two videos next to each other, one about, okay, this is how we know the Earth is round, this is how we know the Earth is flat, which one are you going to click on? Right. You're going to click on the one that's the flat Earth one. And then that's how you descend down the rabbit hole. So you get fed more and more videos. And you hear about accounts of people that get into it and how they describe how they got into it. And it's always, I was really skeptical. I was going to go in and, I was going to watch these videos so I could debunk them. And then, they spent 6 hours watching YouTube videos on these things, and then they're a convert.
They're an expert too. Yeah.
Yep. And they're an expert. Exactly. So I kind of see it as like, there's like two, when it comes to like indoctrination, there's like two stages. The first stage is like when you get introduced to the idea, and it's like the programming stage. But then the second stage is when you kind of commit to it, and you take on things like evangelism, right? You're going to go and try to convince your neighbor that the earth is flat, or there are other things that you do to further cement yourself into the belief. And when you get into that stage, it's like there's nothing you can do to convince them that they're wrong. It's that confirmation bias. It's but it's also like a feeling of, they find a feeling of purpose. Yeah.
Well, there's such a minority that they feel like they're first.
Yeah.
So there's also that aspect of like it's like when you discover a new band.
Yeah.
You're the first to discover them in your circle of friends. You know? So you're like, I believe in flat Earth way before you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
totally.
It was cool.
Yeah.
And if you've seen Behind the Curve, the main protagonist is this Mark Sargent guy who put out the Flat Earth Clues videos, and he's like a big celebrity in the flat Earth world.
Is he the guy on that documentary? I can't remember now. Is he the one who, like, near the end basically said, I don't even care if it's not true, I just like the group?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, like, he has been like he's gotten intoxicated by this like celebrity status, and the group that's been created out of it, and he's like one of the leader figures in the group, and which tells you a lot about like cult ideology and how cults work, and like you could be. If you're the leader of a cult, it gets to where like you could believe everything that you're teaching, but then it gets to a point where, you kind of feel like you're in it, and you kind of feel like you have like this meaningful purpose.
Right. The subject matter is no longer relevant.
Yep.
Or it's no longer the strongest driver.
Exactly.
Now it's this group mentality, group think that's the strongest driver of the conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it becomes kind of like a cherished belief system where, like, having this belief system brings you all this purpose. It brings you a social environment. It also, you also get a feeling that there's also the feeling that you know more than other people. The QAnon crowd will use the term red pilled quite a bit. That comes directly from the Matrix. And if you want to understand conspiracy thinking, watch the Matrix. Right. There are a lot of quotes in that movie that are actually very.
England, with the Queen of England and her family, is what I understand. They could be. We could even go reptilian type people, maybe.
And a reptilian, for the viewers that don't know, what is a reptilian?
Reptilian is like a ship shaper. They can change their ship to human.
Never gets old.
You can see it in their eyes. You can see evil.
They change their ship to a reptilian.
Well, ship shaped. What they are is shift. Yeah, ship shape. Yeah. They change their shape in their ship to do that.
So it's a shapeshifter.
Yeah.
Any other people out there that we should know that are reptilians?
Well, you just look in their eyes.
that Spencer so rudely interrupted you with TikTok.
I
That's
think that was worth it.
The Good Liars on TikTok.
Yes, I've watched them quite a bit.
Oh my gosh, they're the best.
I guess they are on other platforms.
Yes,
probably.
yeah.
I like them and Jordan Klepper. Jordan Klepper gets me.
Klepper.
Yeah.
Walter Masterson. Have you come across any of his
I
stuff?
haven't seen.
He's a lot like these guys. Will go to rallies and stuff.
There's something wrong with that guy, though.
Walter Masterson.
Yeah, he's
There's something wrong with all these guys, man. They're funny though.
Yeah.
Anyway,
this guy believes reptiles are infiltrating us.
what are there any conspiracy theories where you've read about, the impetus of them and how it's grown? Do you buy into any? Are there any conspiracy theories that you believe in?
Any conspiracy theories I believe in?
9/11, Sandy Hook.
No. Yeah. So before I started talking with this relative, I hadn't thought about conspiracy theories at all before that, and
Which is
just
probably
really,
the way it should be.
really hadn't even considered it.
Just don't talk about them, guys.
But I guess I'd say like back when the Making a Murderer series came out on Netflix, I got really into that.
Yeah.
And from that experience, I know what it feels like to like get invested into a conspiracy theory, right?
Yeah.
But that one I see as far more feasible, being it's a smaller group of people that would have been required to be in on it.
Yeah, it's like two
But,
cops. Yeah.
Yeah, it's maybe
It's like when they say the moon landing is fake, and you're just like
so
so
200,000 people.
everyone that ever worked on it, even the janitor
Yeah.
that cleaned the building, is in on it.
Yeah.
And then I guess
Absolutely.
flat Earth is even worse because
Yeah.
it's like literally everyone is in on it,
Yeah.
Right.
except for you.
Yeah, the thing about flat Earth is the theory itself is not a conspiracy theory, but it requires a conspiracy theory for it to work.
Right,
So
right, because
you have to
we've been lied to.
believe that everybody is in on it, including. I mean, they talk about NASA being like the propagator of this conspiracy theory, but we believe the Earth was round before NASA ever came around.
Right.
So
well, and there's a whole sect of flat earthers, right, that believe the moon's not real.
yeah,
Well, so all of those astronomers, 600 years ago, thousands of years ago, that wrote it down, that they're looking at the moon, they're like, oh, the projection wasn't there yet. We just inserted those writings later. NASA
I think
wrote those on parchment.
I think the most compelling part of the movie Behind the Curve was when Mark Sargent goes to see a solar eclipse. And so he drives from like where he lives in Whidbey Island, Washington, to somewhere in Oregon, I think. And they ask him about, how do you explain a solar eclipse? And his response was, oh, it's just the objects in the firmament. And that was his answer, right? And then it shows a clip of him looking, right? He's got the glasses on, looking at the solar eclipse, just like, oh, this is amazing. This is incredible. And you just have to think like, are these things not registering in his mind? Like first of all, he was able to know when the solar eclipse was going to happen. Like somebody predicted that, and so the people that he's saying are lying to us.
He
and,
trusted that
either
science. Yeah.
either lying to us or incompetent are the ones predicting when this is going to happen, and he's trusting that, and he sees it happening. Like, how does that register? How does that register in your mind?
I saw another clip on the Good Liars at a vaccine protest, and they were saying, the guy was on the soapbox and saying like, the numbers are right there on the CDC's website. And so it was either Walter or the Good Liars, I can't remember. He goes up to him, so we can trust the CDC? No. But the numbers are on the CDC's website? Yes, you get the numbers there. The numbers are accurate, so we can trust the CDC. Like, they just kept going back and forth. That's the same thing. Like, you trust the science that tells you where to go for a solar eclipse that's based off of the reality of a globe, but don't believe anything else they say. Yeah, it's...
You just pick and choose what you want.
I mean, COVID's another one that you're like, when the conspiracy theories are spun, you're like, but this is a whole world thing. This isn't... Like, so the whole world is in on Pfizer getting more money?
You know?
Like,
yeah.
what? Why does
Why does
who
the whole
convinced
world care?
Yep. And then they turn to their people that are pushing the natural health remedies
Right.
and making money in that
Yeah.
area.
Yeah, the Alex Jones that sells supplements on his show. Man, that's interesting stuff. I want to read that book. Jim Watkins, by the way, is that his name? I was searching for it.
Is it?
QAnon.
Oh, Jim Watkins,
Or
I think,
Ron
is the
Watkins.
dad. Ron Watkins. Yeah,
Yeah.
Ron Watkins is the guy that. It was the HBO documentary. I think that's where he accidentally let it slip that he's Q.
Yes. Okay.
But I thought he wasn't. I thought it was.
Oh, this is a newer article, April 21st. Let me just see what this says.
I thought he wasn't the original Q.
Yeah, so he probably wasn't the original Q. There's another person that did it for a while, and then I think he took over at some point.
Oh, he's running for the House.
Oh gosh.
The headline is QAnon figure Ron Watkins gave a $95,000 loan to his House campaign in Arizona. I don't want to read the whole thing to figure out what's wrong with that, but... he's running for the House in Arizona. Great.
Cool.
That's fantastic.
Well, we'll have him and Bobert and man, we have a lot of dumb people. in
Evan
office
McMullen.
Right now. Yeah,
You got to
let's
claim
talk
the win
about
here.
that.
You've got to
I
claim
will.
the win.
I will claim the win because we talked about this. I said, you know what they should do? I should
Democrats.
find the Democrats should go get behind Evan McMullen.
Right.
And then that very night, I sent you a KSL article
Yeah.
that said Democrats are likely to back Evan McMullen, and I was like, am I psychic?
And then they did.
And then you went to the convention.
Yeah, so several months ago, when we had the caucuses, I was thinking, so Mike Lee, he's going to be running, and I want to support whoever. I take the approach of I want to support whoever has the best chance of beating Mike Lee.
Oily rag.
So
Absolutely.
and so whoever that was going to be, I actually
moldy cheese.
Yeah. I actually started getting emails from the Evan McMullen campaign back then, and I think I was on the list because I don't know how I got on the list, actually, but I did vote for him in 2016. But
a lot of people
For Evan?
yes.
a lot of people who couldn't bring themselves to vote for Trump voted for Evan McMullen.
Yeah, and I had kind of this wishful thinking idea that maybe Utah would be different from the rest of the country, and that's kind of why I threw my
wrong.
name in that bucket. And I was very wrong. So, but anyway, I decided to go caucus with Democrats and went to my neighborhood caucus, and there was like 9 people there.
Really?
Totally. And they had tables set out with a paper bag for each precinct, and it was just me and another guy in my neighborhood who I know that arrived, that they came for my precinct, and we had two delegate spots, and so we both put our names into that to be delegates. And so I went to the state convention and was able to be involved in the voting for the big thing was whether the Democratic Party would nominate a Democratic candidate, or if they would decide not to nominate a Democratic candidate and join the Evan McMullen coalition.
Brilliant.
So
Yep.
It is and isn't. And I'll tell you why it isn't. Because, well, maybe it doesn't even matter. Because if I were the Democrats, I'd keep my support quiet and just financial and...
Oh, you think that them throwing support behind Evan, they might lose a wing of the Republicans who would vote for Evan?
Yes.
That's interesting.
We got a lot of people here who vote just for letters, R's and,
That's true.
Yeah.
and D's, actually mostly just R's. And
D's
so,
too.
Yeah.
D's too.
And we're gonna have an eye on there, and if they catch any wind that eye has association with a D, they may not go for that eye.
The hope is they're more likely to go for an I than they are to go for a D.
I just feel like, well, yeah, I agree totally. I mean, especially since he ran. What did he do? I guess he ran as an I.
But your point is that the Republicans who don't necessarily like Mike Lee, who maybe would have voted for Evan before,
Right.
but because now he's associated with the Democrats,
Well, I'm just thinking
They
about
might not.
the old grandma who's like
they'll just abstain from voting on that.
they would typically vote for just an R and in this state, and then they'll see the I. Will there be a D on the
No
the
D.
ballot at all?
No D.
So just R and I, and you know that someone will tell them, or they'll get on an email that the
The I means D.
Yeah.
and maybe they heard, you know, how Evan Mullen is a traitor and a seditionist and a terrible person, but they don't want to vote for that D.
You know, we could.
Yeah, that's probably not the voter they're going for.
No,
It's true.
that's why I was thinking maybe it doesn't matter at all. But
The strategy
Yeah.
that they talked about is principled Republicans, right? That's what they're calling them, is principled Republicans that oppose the more extreme,
now mainstream apparently
sedition.
crazy Trump folks. Yeah,
So
I
I think that we could sell an ad to the RNC that is something along the lines of I equals D. Right? Like, we just sell that. They like little slogans.
well, that's what they're going to try and do.
I know. But we could sell the proof of concept right here.
I don't think you underestimate how much I hate Mike Lee.
No.
Like
No.
I almost went to his office and put a traitor sign on his door. Like then I messaged you. I was like, "Hey, do you know how to find Mike Lee's address?"
I have emailed and called Mike Lee
He's
as well.
so ugly and
left him
squirrely
voicemails.
and greasy and just a terrible, dumb human being.
I've gone back and forth with one of his staffers on email. Like, it's no, he's awful. He's awful, and let's throw some positive vibes up. He's going to lose.
He's an embarrassment for the state.
Yeah,
I
Evan's going to win.
I
We're
don't
gonna
care.
Say it.
On Mitt Romney's worst day, he is nothing compared to Mike Lee. Mike Lee is he's the scum of the earth, man.
He really is.
You just look at him and see that he's scummy and greasy
He's bad.
and
He is-
gross.
He is the whore of
And
Babylon.
He gets a boner when Trump touches him.
That's true. Oh man,
He's embarrassing.
he is embarrassing.
He dressed up as Helaman or something, didn't he? Or I don't know. He did something stupid like
He
that.
compared. It was him that compared Trump to
there was like
Helaman, right?
I can't remember, but there was something like that.
He's a Book of Mormon general. Yeah. Anyway, it was bad.
I just don't get it.
No, I don't get it either. Speaking of things you predicted, my turn.
Yeah.
Okay. We were talking about transgender athletes last week, and I brought up that
Michael Phelps.
Michael Phelps
is transgender.
Yes, he is.
He's switching. He's switching genders.
No, he switched years ago. No.
Wait, so he was a super strong, powerful woman.
Yes.
And he thought he could do better in the men's.
Right.
Okay.
And he was right.
That's different.
No. So we talked about it. I said Michael Phelps has biological advantages. I listed a couple. And then 2 days later, this article broke on essentiallysports.com, the leading sports news.
I've never heard
website.
of that.
Anyway, the headline is how does Michael Phelps' physical superiority aspect factor into the recent trans athletes debate? And that there are people calling for him to have his medals stripped because of his biological advantages. And so, just to give you an example, Michael Phelps was extremely gifted with his physical abilities. To start, his height was 6.4 feet. His weight was 194 pounds with a wingspan of 6.66 feet and a size 14 foot. He was known to produce half the lactic acid compared to a typical athlete. Obviously, higher lactic acid
That'll give you
increases
gout.
fatigue. These gifts were marveled at. Meanwhile, the experts and the layperson with social media have been divided on the issue of biological advantage. So I brought it up as a counterpoint. Like, if you're going to talk about biological advantage, then we got to talk about Phelps being able to bend his knees backwards and his feet or whatever. But yeah, there's even more. And I just found this fascinating. There was an article after we brought it
Do
up.
things just start happening after we talk about them now?
I think so.
Yeah.
So Evan's going to win.
tonight.
Mike Lee's going
because
to-
it seems to happen like immediately.
Mike Lee is going to. Oh, I was going to get too dark.
Yeah,
he's going to resign.
I was pretty close to going that way too.
He's going to resign.
He's gonna have a horrific. You know what? Never mind. Anyway,
You better start taking the
wait,
bus.
I want to go back to the convention real quick.
Yeah, let's talk more about the convention.
What was the reaction of the people who were behind?
like core Democrats.
Cale Weston
Yeah.
was the Democratic.
And look, I get it, and I think there should be two different sides, and I just think that Mike Lee is so dangerous that we need to do whatever we can to get rid of him.
This is the antithesis to what the right hates about the left, right? The right hates about the left all of the like, here's a participation trophy, everybody should get their chance. Here the left is saying, fuck that, we're going with this guy who might actually beat Mike. Kale, sorry.
That is
but-
what I heard from a lot. Like I was listening to Radio from Hell, and they were all kind of wishy-washy on Evan McMullen, but they did say, they're like, I'm just proud of the Democratic Party for playing the game, for making a move, because they never do.
No.
Yeah.
In fact, Mike Lee's last challenger, if you remember, was a transgender woman.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
everybody
think I remember
knew
that.
she didn't stand a fucking shot. And
Yeah.
it was like, cool, you guys had the first transgender candidate for
Yep.
Senate. That's great.
What
But
was-
she's not going to win.
Yeah. So what was their argument? The
So
the backers.
I came into this with the attitude like back in 2016 I did a protest voting for McMullen, right? I didn't, I was against Trump. I was still very against Democrats as well, and so I didn't think either option was good, and so I voted for McMullen. Now I'm a lot more pragmatic. I want to be strategic. I want to vote for results,
Right.
and so I came into this thinking, we need to be strategic. McMullen has the best chance. He can get to being an I. He can get Democrat votes. He can get Republican votes. He can get independent votes. And so, if we could put all those together, there's a chance to beat Mike Lee. So that's how I came into this. Going into the convention, walking in, I saw lots of McMullen's people. I think one of McMullen's people was the first to talk to me and give me a little sticker. And, I was able to say, yeah, I'm here to support McMullen. But I saw a lot of Team Cale Weston people there.
His name's Cale.
Yep, wearing the T-shirts.
How more liberal can you be?
And I think
Touche.
Totally.
That's a good one.
But as you walk in, it was at Cottonwood High School. The cafeteria area is kind of set up like a little with booths and stuff. All the candidates have their booths and they pass out buttons and things. Cale Weston had a whole classroom to kind of promote his thing, and then McMullen he had his own little booth out there as well. But I go into the auditorium where they held most of the convention. I happened to sit in the middle, not really thinking about best place to sit, but I sat right in the middle, and all of Team Cale was on my left, and all of Team McMullen was on my right. And you could kind of feel the energy, like the Team Weston, they're all, even the other candidates, like the other Democratic candidates were kind of talking about, we got to put Democrats on the ballot. We got to support Democrats. That's what we need to be about. So you could kind of sense that sentiment that was there already. And then, the McMullen people come in and they're carrying their signs, and like the chair, the person running the show is like, oh, they can't have those in there, and kind of told them to put away and stuff. But it was you can definitely sense the energy there. Both sides kind of had their contingents, and it felt really balanced. Like it felt like there were just as many people saying, on the Team Cale as well as the Team McMullen. It was interesting to see how they set it up. Like someone has to put in the motion to do that, because by default they would have nominated. Cale Weston was uncontested on the in the Democrats, so like he was in the slate of uncontested candidates that would. So they had to separate him out of that group, and someone had to make the motion to not nominate a Democratic candidate and join the coalition. And so they did that. And then so that was Mayor Davis, Jenny Davis. She made that motion, and then Ben McAdams was there promoting Evan McMullen.
I like Ben
and he set up he put the motion into for the rules for the debate. So by default, there's unlimited debate, and it could have gone on all day. So he put in the motion to do to limit each side to 5 and give each person 1 minute. And so they had 5 and 5, and the arguments are really interesting to listen to. So the main arguments coming from Team Kale was, the Democratic Party has to put Democrats on the ballot. Democrats should vote for Democrats. You can kind of think about, like, from their point of view, I mean, some of these old timers have been for decades working really hard to build a Democratic base in Utah. Right. They want to I can see how it feels like going for an independent candidate is kind of like selling out. I think the most valid argument that they gave was having him on the ballot helps down ballot candidates as well. So if you think having a major candidate on the ballot, more people are likely to vote, and that helps the down ballot candidates. So that was kind of the main argument. But aside from that, it was really very kind of hive-minded. Like, we got to vote for our people. There was one guy in there that was really vocal, kind of yelled out, you guys are coming in here and selling out the Democratic Party. He even accused some of the Team McMullen people of not being Democrats, or like, you're just independents coming in here and kind of ruining our party. And they're like, we're Democrats. Like, like, this is what we want to do.
Listen, it goes on both sides for sure. But what this does is it slaps in the face the party over nation concept. Right. Like, you can't accuse anybody on the Evan McMullen train of that anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Any Democrat that's on that train and is like, yes, let's do it, this is going to be great. You can no longer accuse them of being party over nation, which is all you can say about a lot of Republicans.
It just stands, I mean, I understand their arguments, I understand their frustration, but at the same time, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and getting the same result. Their candidate was not going to win, and at worst, it was going to split the vote,
right,
and make it impossible. Mike Lee just wins, default.
A compelling thing that I just overheard from someone behind me talking, is he said that he had heard that Kale promised that if, like, by October or September, if he was polling under 20%, he would pull out of the race and support McMullen. But he didn't say anything about that at the convention.
It's just better to do it now.
Yeah.
Let's get all the funding behind him. I'm assuming then the DNC is going to be putting money behind him.
Not sure about that.
Really?
Not sure about that. A lot of people were very against that. Like,
really?
If we're going to support this guy, none of our money better be supporting him in.
Oh, that's silly.
Yeah,
I disagree with that. No, if we're going to be supporting him, then we damn well better support him.
Yeah.
Let's be running ads. Let's you know what I mean?
I think it's a compromise, you can live with is, well, we won't put a candidate forward, but we're not going to give you money. I mean, or at least not.
It depends on the shared goal. If the shared goal is to get rid of Mike Lee.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, in the mind of compromise, that's a great compromise to make between the Democratic Party and
yeah.
Another thing I wonder is, like, a lot of, like, the more hardcore Democrats, I wonder how much they realize, like, how much of a threat Mike Lee is, or how much they even are aware of, what's going on the right wing. Are they, like, so focused on Democrat stuff that they're not even noticing what's happening? So
I think that's probably a good diagnosis for most people, right? Who are really into their particular party, is that they just kind of stay focused there, not realizing what a threat. You're right.
It's crazy.
There was kind of a fun moment that I didn't stay all the way through. It was after we had done the main vote, and they were counting the tallies. They had the platform chair come out and share the Democratic platform, or the Utah Democratic platform. And I think they did a really good job at like making it really concise and short and easy to read through and digest. They presented it, and then it was kind of open for motions. I don't know if it was officially open, but someone came up and made a motion. I motioned to change the date from 2020 to 2022, and then that's not controversial at all. It's great. But then then someone came up. There was like another motion, and then someone came up and said, I'd like to add the words. There was a section that talks about equality for all, but it didn't specify like all the different classes. And so I want to enter the words for LGBT people and whatever else. I'd
rather leave it all, because if you start listing them and you forget one.
But that's the thing. And so they made the motion, and then and then someone seconded it, and nobody like opposed it, and then someone else came up and said something about women's rights. And then someone else came up and said something about another group. I can't remember what it was. And then finally the chair who kind of put this whole thing together came up and gave like the long history of how the platform used to be. And, it used to be this big bloated document. They sent it out to all the precincts and said, what causes do you want to support? And, they had this whole list of causes, and to make it so like no cause was like more important than another, they put it alphabetical. And so they had this huge bloated document of all the causes. And then it turned out like number one on the list was animal rights. And that just made it kind of funny. And so he kind of, yeah, so he went through this whole spiel, and he brought up like the problem with the Bill of Rights being that because we spelled out what our rights are, there are other rights that we have that are not considered. And he pointed to Clarence Thomas, pointed to, show me where on this it says we have rights to, I can't remember what example he had. But anyway, he gave a great speech about why we're keeping it really simple and concise. And then
make it all under an umbrella rather than defining every raindrop to keep.
Yeah, and I think there was like some applause, like people were like, "Yeah, that's really good." And then someone got back up and said something about like, if we don't put on there for trans rights, we're going to be left on the floor. And then someone else got up there and says, "I motion to have something about religion on there." And then it just went right back to the old conversation.
No, I mean,
it felt like a Portlandia episode, or like Parks and Rec, or Parks and Rec. So that's why I thought it was pretty comical just to kind of sit there and watch. And
it's way
just
better to just say, "What's your cause?" Okay, that's under the umbrella of equality for
exactly.
all, right? If you ever need to make that argument, it's right there. And I feel like that's how the civil rights, like the 14th Amendment, 19th Amendment, those are written as broadly as possible so that someone's maybe not left out next time.
Yeah.
Like, we got to make sure if we start listing all the causes, then that means someone's inevitably going to be left out. Whereas if we leave it an umbrella, then everybody can join in that deserves rights,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I just thought it was a funny moment. I had to leave early because I had stuff to do. But
well, people want to get up there and talk too.
Yeah.
So.
And it was like the auditorium had dwindled in numbers. Like the main vote happened, and then it was like a third the size of the people that were there. Yeah. So,
all right. Well,
you take a break.
Let's take a break because I need to pee and maybe other things. I don't know.
Great.
I'm not sure. I'm hoping it's just pee. Anyway, when we come back. We have random headlines, and I don't know, we'll figure something else out. Maybe an Onion or InfoWar.
I got one. Yeah, we're ready.
All right. All that and that. And that's it. Oh.
Wow. I actually got the place shut down.
I'm glad I was here for this, Brian. We've hardly done anything together since we made that fiber commercial and had to use code words for pooping. Wow, Brian, I've never felt so regular.
Yes, you seem exceptionally active while maintaining proper body health.
That's right. Just 2 spoonfuls a day to stay regular and active.
More coffee, Stewie?
Yes, please. Oh dear, that was a mistake.
Wait, you mean you're about to be active? Currently active. Cut to the shot of them stirring the product into water.
Gurgle Max. Take a massive comfort.
Oh, God. Oh, there's regular on the carpet. Oh, there's so much regular.
This is the Our Take Podcast. We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you these random headlines.
Hey, we're back. Thanks for coming back. Hey, by the way, I didn't mention this. I always forget. I really should do better. Find us at the Our Take Pod. On Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, or the ourtakepodcast.com.
What we should talk about is what I found out just the other day. Someone reached out to me and said, hey, we're playing this charity show. I'm pretty sure another band dropped out, but I think it was kind of a last-minute ad. But we got invited to open a show in Orem.
First show.
At the Boardwalk, assuming Ethan doesn't throw at his back, break his leg, or whatever.
He needs to realize how valuable his body is and how old it is.
You know, he is definitely the healthiest one out of all of us, for sure.
But he had a rough year.
But he gets hurt so often.
Right.
And, I was talking to Brian Stubbs. Apparently, this has been happening for a long time.
Oh, it's typical Ethan. It's typical Ethan. He was. We were on the drum line together, right? And we had the drum line learns. Their music's quite a bit harder to learn than the rest of the band. So the drum line would have their a separate camp before the whole band camp.
Right.
Okay. To learn the field show. And 2 days before, Ethan got appendicitis.
Oh, of course.
And he missed drum camp, and I spent some time with him to learn all the parts. It's just typical. Of course, that's not his fault.
No.
But
I just think we need to put him in carbonite. And wait and unfreeze him right as we play.
We'll see if he listens to this episode.
Anyway, it's got the Boardwalk. It's called the Boardwalk in Orem. Music starts at 8. I think tickets are $10
for charity.
It
what charity?
It says 50% goes to charity. I don't know where the other 50 goes, but if they're paying us, we'll give our share. I don't know. I doubt it, but if they are, we'll just give our share to whomever.
Yeah.
Randy asked me. He's like, how old are the other bands, age-wise? And I was looking at them, I'm like, oh, they're probably our age, 28. And I was like, oh my gosh. No, we're way older than all of them. We are old. We are so old.
And we've been out of the scene. We've been out of the scene for, what? 10, 12, 15, 13 years?
I don't remember the exact last market show we played, but it was around probably...
I was probably 24.
Yeah, it was probably around 2011 or 12.
I don't want to say how long it's been. Yeah,
it's been a
we're
while.
Going to be the old, well, for sure. And we all played with those bands when we were young.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Every once in a while you'd play a show, and these old guys would get up.
With way better gear.
And they killed it.
Yeah.
So I hope we're that band, but you're always like, man, give up on your dream, man. What are you still doing?
Well, it's not like we're looking to get signed at this. There's going to be some random record agent.
I don't know about you, whatever, man.
You guys, you just have the look, the near 40 look that we're going for right now.
I don't know what it is, but you have got it.
The obesity and the bald, just everything about you guys screams pop stars.
Don't let go of the bald, okay? Do not let go of the bald.
38 is really in right now. Anyway, what are we talking about?
Random headlines.
Be There, Be Square.
Yeah.
Come check us out.
What is it?
The Boardwalk.
When?
In Orem, the 13th, Friday the 13th. So
May?
I'm already worried that something's going to happen. Of May, yeah.
Okay.
In Orem.
Charity.
For charity.
Did you
Mental
say what
health
it is?
awareness.
Mental health awareness.
I'm not, or I don't know if it's a specific. I don't know.
Well, the
I'll
other
have
half
to look
is
it up.
going to my cost of my prescription
my
meds.
mental health.
My down payment or my copay for therapy.
Yeah, seriously. All right, random headlines. Now that the song's over completely, that's our new thing. We talk through the song.
It's not new.
completely,
We've done that since the second episode, pretty sure.
Are you a big cereal eater? Either of you?
Since I was 6.
What's your favorite?
Yeah, what's your favorite?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Go-to is usually Life. Or
Life.
Chex.
I like Honey Chex. That's like I can down a box of Honey Chex in like a second.
So you like the healthy cereals.
No, just cereal that
Life is
I don't know.
not is that's
It's not like a healthy cereal. It's like
I'm sorry, it's not a
We could call it. How about a boring cereal?
sure.
yeah. I like boring cereals. We'll say that.
Yeah.
Do you put sugar on Life or
No.
just straight
Frosted
up?
mini wheats.
No, I don't.
Just
do-
regular
no,
mini wheats.
no. Like just something light to get going. You know.
I like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Peanut Butter Captain Crunch.
I love Captain Crunch, but man, it tears your mouth up.
It does.
It really does.
It's
like it's not a lie, it's not a myth. It hurts.
No, you gotta be
like
careful
for
with the
days.
spoonfuls.
Man, it's messed
No,
up.
if you do it every day, you build up calluses on your palate. Yeah.
My kids eat Lucky Charms, and I hate it because they just eat the marshmallows.
Oh, really?
See, when I was a kid, we couldn't afford Lucky Charms, so we had marshmallow mateys in the bag, in the big bag.
There you go.
Yeah,
We were bottom shelf shoppers.
Those are still around.
When we weren't Bishop's Storehouse.
Did you like
we
walk?
were bottom
Did you walk squatting down
Yeah.
to shop for your cereal?
Just threw them on the bottom of the cart. We had
Yeah.
nothing in the top because it was
Yeah.
easier to throw it on the bottom.
Oh man, I think my favorite
Hmm.
is I love the Honey Checks, and there's one that doesn't get made that often anymore. The O's, I think they're called.
Mm.
Do you know what I'm talking
Cheerios.
about?
Yeah.
No,
No, O's.
They're Honey O's, I think, or
They're like bigger, like
yeah,
bigger pieces.
Honey or O's.
Honey O's.
Yeah, that's what they're called. Honey Graham O's.
Honey Graham O's.
They also kind of tear up your mouth too, though.
I like
but-
honeycomb sometimes.
Really good.
And some Apple Jacks.
So, but when you eat your cereal, do you eat it with milk?
Water.
course.
Or water?
Warm water.
What?
I have a tea kettle for my cereal.
Well, Tropicana.
Oh, no.
Tropicana is making a new cereal called Tropicana Crunch. Oh, man. And it's a cereal that is made for OJ. So I at first I thought this was maybe an April Fool's joke, but no, this came out yesterday or 2 days ago, and will be available in stores on May 4th.
Hey, look, see that right there, the sunglasses?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
He has got
He's got it right there.
My first thought on this is, are you going to mess up and accidentally put milk in it? And what happens if you do that?
It explodes.
It fizzes. It gets all fizzy, has a weird chemical
Does
reaction.
it say what it's going to taste like?
Oh, let's see here. Tropicana announced breakfast fans will soon be able to try a new product combining a pair of early morning favorites. You know, I tolerate orange juice. I don't like it. Let me just say that. I prefer
Is it
apple.
the pulp?
No, it's like sour. I don't know. It's not that.
Well, it depends on the orange juice.
That's true.
There's like Sunny D, and then there's
Sunny D is hardly orange
I
juice.
know. That's what I'm saying. And then there's like what's the really good stuff called?
Simply.
Yes.
That
yeah.
stuff's pretty good.
No pulp, you know.
The honey almond cereal is designed to be eaten with orange juice instead of milk. Prepare your mind at cereal bowl. They're serious about this. You need to prepare your mind. You need to strap in. This is going to get freaking insane.
I don't know if other cereals have this, but this is a full website. TropicanaCrunch.com.
It's a whole new concept. It's not like it's a new cereal. This is like a new.
Right. I mean, there's
like,
nothing clickable on here. It's just a
need
page.
You need to learn and accept and
Yeah, you got to retrain your brain.
Yeah, because
for
the
this stuff.
first time you do this, you're gonna be like, oh.
Oh, it's so thin.
It just looks gross, man. It just, I don't know.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I don't see this going well.
I will try it once. The only thing that I am sick of trying, because there's so many, are the different flavors of Mountain Dew, and there's not any that I've liked as much as the original.
Really?
None.
I tried the gingerbread one for Christmas. It was pretty interesting.
Ethan tried the hot one.
There's a hot one?
And he sent us all a message like, don't try the hot dew. I was like, thanks for the info, man.
The flaming hot dew.
Yeah.
I think I signed out for that.
Physically. You don't warm it up.
Yeah.
It's still cold to the touch.
Just put it in a
It tastes
pot.
hot.
They put it in an oven.
It's like a fireball. They dissolved a fireball.
You have to get it at the deli with
tea
the fried chicken. It's under a hot lamp.
Can I get a gallon of the hot dew? Thanks.
It's next to the coffee machine.
I'll be back in 10.
Oh, anyway. What? Saying that maybe this is just a giveaway. It says the specifics of the giveaway will be made available on May 4th.
They doing like a limited edition run
That's so
or something.
stupid.
May the 4th.
Just jump in or don't, man.
No, they don't have that kind of capital anymore.
Tropicana?
They gotta just try it once and see.
Yeah, you got to pilot this out. You can't just full release it.
Well, here's one. Here's one. I'm sure people do this with maybe like Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah.
Chocolate milk.
I've done that before.
Yeah, I'm sure people have done it, but nothing's been advertised.
It's because it honestly, it doesn't do that much.
What if you did Reese's Puffs?
I'm trying to think what I have done it with.
Chocolate milk.
That could be good.
Yeah. So maybe not chocolate on chocolate, right?
Yeah.
You need something that goes good with chocolate. Like a vanilla ice or a vanilla cereal
Actually,
of some sort.
Vanilla almond milk is pretty good with cereal in general, if you've ever had that.
Yep.
Anyway.
Various coconut and almond milks.
5 stranded sheep rescued from a rooftop in England. Really reaching for stories today.
It's random.
Firefighters in England came to the rescue of 5 sheep that ended up stranded on a rooftop after jumping across a gap. They didn't mind the gap.
Mind the gap.
They didn't mind the gap. From a neighboring field. The West Yorkshire Fire and Rescue Service said in a Twitter post, must have been a slow day for them.
It's York, man.
that its technical rescue officer responded to a property where 5 sheep had jumped across a gap. Yes, what you just said. The tweet said the officer's specialist animal husbandry training came in handy. Yeah,
Is that husbandry? Yeah, that's like the raising of livestock.
Yeah. Well, it's like how you take care of them. Like that's every
Yeah.
time I hate going to the vet because they always want to talk about my bird husbandry. I'm like, all right,
This is
shut up.
it's a fair story for York. So I visited York with Ashley's grandma. That's
Right.
where she's from, you know? And it's just a lovely place. Like it's just so quaint.
And there's sheep on every roof.
Yeah, just every roof you look at.
There's sheep.
There's at least 1, 2 sheep. If you get 5, you call the fire department. 1 or 2, 3. Yeah, Yorkshire. Beautiful.
So, are you thinking that this specialist with animal husbandry, maybe he might be a little closer to the sheep than we'd like?
You know, the English have their ways.
Like Velcro gloves kind of situation? Or no?
That's a great visual. Oh, man.
I never said that to you before.
No.
That's like my go-to, man.
I love it.
Galoshes and Velcro gloves.
Oh, it's
man. You gotta
fantastic.
Stick the legs in the galoshes.
You gotta make a shirt or something.
I'm not making a shirt.
Come on, you gotta,
I'm not making
gotta
a shirt
do
of
it.
that, man.
You gotta do
Gotta
it.
draw the line somewhere.
With your face, smile, like looking to the side, and smiling. Oh man!
No one's gonna compliment that shirt. What the? I wore this shirt the other day, and people found it. My doctor was like, "That's hilarious."
It is hilarious.
He said it just like that because he's like a colonel in the Air Force.
He's looked like that's hilarious.
That's hilarious.
This is a funny shirt, man. It's the old switcheroo.
All right. Let me
Which
see
you
if-
can get at the rtakepodcast.com. You can get a Doing Pigeons TV shirt. T-shirt.
Now tell me if this has ever happened to you. There you are on a Southwest flight that's been delayed or canceled on their way. So there's a couple, right? And they're on their way to Vegas to go, get married or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And the flight gets canceled. And basically they decide to have the wedding right there on the plane.
Oh, because the pilot can marry them. Is that true for every...
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Is that just a Navy thing?
I think that might be, yeah.
Like maritime law.
Right. Not airtime law.
Not very good. Very good. We have derailed.
Let me read the story here.
Okay, go
Southwest
ahead.
Airlines said in a Facebook post that Pam Patterson and Jeremy Salida.
Is it S-A-L-I-N-A?
No,
Oh.
Salda.
Okay.
S-A-L-D-A. Booked a Sunday flight to Las Vegas and decided to travel in their wedding attire. To be why would you do that? It's so uncomfortable. To be ready for their wedding chapel appointment at 9. The couple arrived at DFW International Airport to catch their connecting flight to
Texas.
Harry Reid International
Oh, wait.
Airport.
They're not from Texas. They just flew
they're
through
Oklahoma,
DFW.
yeah.
Oklahoma. What is that called?
Ghetto?
North Texas? What's isn't there like a joke about Oklahoma being
A terrible place? Look, I've only driven across that border a couple times, but I will tell you that if you stop at a gas station in Texas and you cross the border and stop at a gas station, the clerks on the Oklahoma side will have wider gaps in their teeth.
the giveaway is it's all dirt roads.
Yeah.
As soon as you cross the border.
I didn't know Harry Reid had an international airport named after him. Great. Are we going to have to do that here now with what's his book?
Orrin? Probably.
The Orrin Hatch International Airport?
Actually, I think that was suggested. I'm going to keep going.
A fellow passenger named Chris, who was also attempting to travel from Dallas to Las Vegas. Wait. They were on the same flight, and they were trying to go to the same place? That's crazy, right?
Can't be a coincidence.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's why did they add that in the story? That's really stupid.
Oh, I see.
Like a fellow passenger who was also trying to get to obviously. Anyway, overheard them discussing their predicament and revealed he was so it was a passenger that was a minister. Anyway, if I was there, I would have just been like, boo! Don't get married. I don't want to watch this. Boo! Let me off the plane.
You would have said, I got married and I got divorced.
Did you see the video where the Christian kids were singing on the? I think it was on a plane, right?
It started a fight?
Yeah.
No.
Didn't it start a fight?
I don't think
Okay,
so. But
maybe I saw
I just saw the looks on the passengers'
they
faces.
pan to the people and they're like, why is this happening? You got to watch it. You haven't seen this? You got to watch it.
I feel like I saw a
It's
TikTok.
a Christian band, and they're like, because it's Southwest, and they just do all sorts of, they let whatever go. And they get out their instruments and start playing this Jesus rock, and the passengers are just like, the fuck? What? Why would anyone want to hear that?
Turns out that the rest of the passengers were on their way to an Islam conference. So they were trying to convert them. Speaking of evangelism, right? You know,
Oh, man. I think that's all my random headlines.
All right. Well, let's do The Onion versus InfoWars.
Oh, wait. Real quick.
Okay.
I just want to make fun of this story because it says an Illinois family discovers an ancient McDonald's bag inside their wall. That's the headline. What is ancient? It's from 60 years ago. Is that ancient now?
Ancient.
Like, was it mummified or petrified?
Yeah.
Petrified McDonald's?
They're using that loosely.
From a McDonald's back in
It's McDonald's agent.
in Greek times? Like what? Anyway, what are we doing?
We're doing The Onion versus InfoWars.
Do I? Still don't have music for that.
No, but this is the segment where I read a headline and you have to guess. You have to guess if it's from Shep. No, if you have to guess if it's from InfoWars or The Onion, right? Is that how we're doing it now?
Storm will kill you.
Yes.
It will kill your children.
Yes.
It will kill your pets.
Yeah, okay. All right, Shep. Well, I know.
Thank you.
You know who I feel bad for?
Shep?
No.
No.
What's his name? That just the other that left Fox for CNN.
Wallace.
Yeah,
Chris Wallace.
He left to go do a show on CNN Plus.
Oh, that's right. And they
And
canceled
he
it.
scrapped CNN Plus like in a couple weeks. They're like, yeah, this isn't working.
That's a conspiracy right there.
Yeah.
Get rid of Wallace.
Trump totally gloated over that too.
No, I'm sure.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here is your first headline. Where did it go? Stand by.
I'm gonna play the French music.
Okay, that's good. Here it is. Congress passes $33 billion bill to send war-torn Ukraine free community college.
Wait, to send them a free community college?
No. Congress passes $33 billion bill to send war-torn Ukraine free community college.
Onion.
He's saying, Josiah's saying like he's maybe seen this story already.
No.
He did say it with some confidence. He did say it with
It's a
confidence.
guess.
I don't know. It sounds like some. I'm gonna say InfoWars.
It is The Onion.
Oh, man.
We're keeping score? Can we keep score?
We can.
Yeah,
we can.
That's
All right, here's another one. Let me find it here. Joe Biden cracks joke about guy named Brandon who's having a really good year. at White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Infowars.
That's the Onion, right?
That's Infowars.
Are you serious?
He did actually crack that joke. So, but I see why you might get torqued, because had he not cracked the joke, it'd be a great Onion headline, right?
Oh man.
Let's see. UK's General Medical Council to restrict what doctors can say online.
That's got to be Infowars.
Josiah?
I'll go Infowars.
It is Infowars, yeah. All right, last one. Here we go. Ready? Ohio law mandates rape victims send thank you notes for gift of parenthood.
That's the Onion.
That's got to be the Onion,
Yes,
man.
the
I hope
Onion.
that's the Onion.
Unfortunately, though, some of these abortion laws they've taken a step. Are you familiar with the next step? Should we do an abortion update real quick?
I don't know if I have the music.
It's okay. They've
Repeat. Abort.
shit.
Abort. You read me.
You know, the new Top Gun movie's coming out finally soon.
It's true.
Sarah.
I see what you did there.
Does he see it again?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Some of these far right legislators have now remember. Okay, so the argument that I posed a lot was to the Christian right, who is fundamentally opposed to abortion. I always bring up if you're opposed to abortion because you believe that it's a human being, a person.
Oh yeah.
Are you opposed to abortions for incest or rape, or when the life of the mother is in jeopardy, like an ectopic pregnancy, or also
I don't know what that means.
It's when rather than implanting on the uterine wall,
okay,
the embryo implants on.
I've never been pregnant.
You never have yet. Anyway.
I get my abortions immediately.
And then the other argument was
I'm gonna get canceled.
Some people really do mourn miscarriages.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Especially as it gets longer in gestation, right?
Oh yeah.
But are they mourned enough if you consider it?
I know somebody
right?
that had a funeral for a miscarriage.
Yeah,
I
or
can't remember who
stillborn.
was,
It
but
happens.
yeah.
And I always said if you were opposed to it, then you should be opposed across the board. Now it was an argument to manipulate,
right,
to make you see the other side. But we have now crossed that threshold where lawmakers in Ohio are not putting in, what's the word, exceptions for things like an ectopic pregnancy, which I don't know the stats, but usually result in some sort of hemorrhage or even death to the mother, and usually the fetus. It's just not viable in there.
Right.
And it wasn't Oklahoma, or what is this? Ohio? It's not Ohio. It was another state I saw. Has no exception for incest or rape. One lawmaker, a woman, actually said out loud that if a 13-year-old girl is raped by her uncle and conceives, that she has an opportunity to be a mother.
An opportunity?
An opportunity. A 13-year-old girl. So that's your abortion update. They have crossed over that threshold that I never thought they would, and they no longer care about the life of the mother. They no longer care about the life of a child who was raped by her dad or uncle or brother. It's an ugly world. Anyway.
Well, you know, I always appreciate you ending with a really light story like that.
It came up, man. It came up from The Onion. All right? It's not my fault.
The Onion?
It's the Onion's fault.
Yeah, it's The Onion's fault.
Oh.
I did want to bring up one last thing, though,
Yeah.
which Josiah might help out with here. Who's running against Burgess Owens?
Her name is Darlene.
Her? So she's going to lose.
She's probably going to lose.
Burgess is black, though, so...
She
That's
got
true.
she got a good applause at the convention.
I was going to say they should let Kale run for the House in whatever district he's in, you know? That would be awesome to see Burgess lose. I
I do not like him.
Is Ben, what are Ben's plans? Do we know? Is he
I
going to run for Senate against Mitt?
I don't know what his plans are.
I wouldn't, he should.
I actually got invited to go to his house.
Really?
Yeah, to the night before the convention to they had a presentation.
So he's still like heavily involved in the Democratic cause. Maybe he'll run for Senate against Mitt in a couple of years. We'll see. Anyway.
Sorry, I'm trying to find some lighter news.
That's okay. Josiah, was there anything else you wanted to discuss? Voice your opinion?
Oh.
Your concern for the world?
He watched Republican Jesus like all the way through after last episode.
Like three or four times.
So
There's always something on the show that I'm like, oh, I got to see that.
Usually we ask people to share a story
like
about
that,
themselves, but you
we
did.
haven't done
that
in a
Instagram
while.
guy.
He's the Democratic caucus is a cool
true.
story. So
And that he went to Germany.
Yeah.
German food. We know more about him than most people.
than I know about you. That's for sure.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you've been to Germany. Like
I haven't.
Oh, well, all right. Now
I haven't. Well, I do. Okay, I've got something here.
You got some lighter news?
I do.
Okay.
Let me find my sounder.
Thought we might talk about.
Oh, I hit the wrong.
You clicked it twice, didn't you?
Yeah, like multiple times.
It's kind of a cool loop.
Oklahoma City man beaten and doused with lighter fluid by 2 burglars.
There's your lighter news, everybody. Join us next week. They didn't burn him, though? We doused you in lighter fluid from our lighters, but damn it, we broke the lighters. So I can't set you on fire now.
Is it because it has the word lighter in the...
Yeah, that's
that's the joke.
Got Spencer thinks.
Thanks for explaining it.
Some people don't get it. You know, some people don't get it.
I was going to say, I thought we might talk about Elon Musk.
Oh,
what's going on with him?
Twitter, I forgot it. We didn't even...
Yeah.
Sometimes we miss the big ones.
Yeah.
I think he's doing it just to mess with people.
Yeah, it's a power play.
I will say this, though. I'm very... I really don't really care about Elon. I go both ways.
Whatever. You are his biggest fanboy.
What are you talking about? Because I want the Cybertruck? You think I'm pro Elon because I like the Cybertruck? No, actually, I'm very disappointed in Elon because the UN, months ago, you'll recall, said we could cure or end world hunger with $6 billion and tweeted it at Elon, if I remember right. He said, I'll do it if you provide me with a plan. Week later, they provided a comprehensive plan about how the money would be spent, and he ignored it. And now he bought Twitter for almost
He's going to feed the
7
world
times as
with
much.
tweets.
So he could have, according to... Oh, it wasn't even the UN. Oh, was it the UN? It was either the UN or the WHO. Anyway, according to them, he could have ended world hunger with $6 billion. Still could. He has more than that. But instead he bought Twitter, and who knows what he's going to do. Very good.
You said WHO.
I know.
So I just...
Yeah. So I think he likes to mess with federal regulators a lot, which is why I think he tweets incendiary things about companies he owns.
Right.
You know, like when he says, I'm going to take Tesla private and the stock tanks.
Right.
And the SEC is like, hey, you can't do that. He's like, watch me. So now he owns Twitter. He can just do. He's the admin of our simulation. I've lobbied for that forever. He's just down here to mess with us, or up here, however you want to view it.
Are you saying he's the second coming?
Yeah, sure. Wow. Or the first. If you're Jewish. What do you think?
I think a lot of people in the right wing have found a new Lord and Savior.
Yeah, we'll see if he actually does anything. You know,
that's true. See, that's what
Like, they're really, like-
I don't understand. He wants to bring back all the crazies to Twitter, all the conspiracy theorists that ruin, like, that have caused all this. I don't.
I mean, but you know, to
Social
Josiah's
media
point,
is
you can
like-
find that stuff.
No, I know. I just
removing it from Twitter.
Social media has just really screwed up the world, man.
By the way, I started to purge my Facebook friends list because the feed is just so. My feed is so corrupt. with people I don't know.
I have my feed is mostly boomers.
Oh, it's rough. It's rough.
Yeah, mostly boomers posting racist stuff.
But I added a bunch of people I didn't know when we started the show. to promote the show, and now I'm like, I don't even use this platform anymore because it bugs me so bad because of what I did. So now I'm just whittling it back down. Maybe I'll get back on there. I don't know. We'll see. But what's your theory on Elon?
Theory? I don't know.
Like, why did he do this? Do you think he is purely in it because he can increase the monetary value of his wealth, or did he just do it because he simply could?
No, I think it's probably more like a power play. Like I can't say what his angle is, but it's probably feeding some kind of vanity type of thing.
Well, he can advertise the hell out of Tesla and SpaceX now for free.
I guess. Do they really need advertising? Like, does anyone not know about Tesla?
No, but I mean, he continues to increase the value of Tesla, even though it's clearly not worth as much as they say it is. You know, people keep investing in it.
I still don't trust Teslas. They seem to break and have manufacturing issues.
I don't. You need to check those stats. I think it's ridiculously low percentage compared to everyone else.
I don't know.
You're recalling like 700,000 Toyotas for airbags.
Well, that's Toyota. It's Japan. They don't.
So you drive a Honda, mind you, but you only care about the American manufacturers who.
My car was manufactured in London. Okay.
Great.
It was built and assembled in England.
Great. Got the fucking
by English people who speak English.
Got the
with an accent.
I couldn't tell you who made my car.
Got the fucking monarchists over
the
there.
The Queen stamped my car with a seal of approval. She kissed it and was like, "This car is."
She melted her wax seal on your door.
It's secured for the Queen. The Queen can drive the car. I think we're done here. We're pretty well done.
Anyway, yeah, Josiah, thanks for being here, man. That was a fun conversation about
Thanks for having me.
and whatnot. Find us at the Arctic Pod on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or thearcticpodcast.com. The show is produced by Spencer. It's recorded by Spencer. It's distributed by Spencer.
No, you do that, man. I don't do that.
That's true. Anyway, for episode 126, I'm Brian.
I'm Spencer. See you next time.